Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Miami Marlins. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Geico, the #1 insurer in the New York market. By Long Island Railroad's Train to the Game, the easiest call at Citi Field. By Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop in-store or online at mybobs.com. By Time Warner Cable. Enjoy all the things you love better with Time Warner Cable. Call 1-855-WANT-TWC today. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. 1 week down in the Major League Baseball season. Week number 2 begins with the Mets still at home, but with a new foe in town. The National League batting champ is here, and so is the greatest slugger in the game, as the Marlins are here. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling with you tonight as the Mets open a 3-game series against the Marlins. Mets are 2-3 to begin the year. The Miami Marlins are 1-3, but they're a very intriguing team because after winning 71 games last year, they have a new manager in Don Mattingly, a new hitting coach in Barry Bonds, and 3 of the greatest stars in the game.
Well, I think they really are the sleeper team in the National League East. When you look at them, they've got such great talent playing under Don Mattingly. They got D. Gordon, who had a record year last year. Giancarlo Stanton, if he can stay on the field, you know what he can do, 50 home runs. Jose Fernandez, one of the best right-handers in the game. That doesn't include Christian Yelich, who could win a batting title someday. Ozuna's going to be a slugger. Real Muto, Echeverria. They really have a young, talented team with some young, talented stars.
We'll see Fernandez on the mound tomorrow night. Gordon and Stanton in the lineup tonight. And in the lineup for the Mets, one of their brightest stars, Yoenis Cespedes, who finally got untracked yesterday with an 11-pitch marathon.
He certainly did, and he went into that at bat, Gary, with a 3 for 18 to start this season. Now, granted, it's been a sputtering start, a lot of off days early in this first week and a half of the season. Hard to find a rhythm, and it's been extremely cold here. But he had everything thrown at him but the kitchen sink in this at bat, and it was an 11-pitch at bat. We're just showing you the 4 pitches that Hellickson threw at him and how he stayed in the at bat. These are the things that the good hitters can do, and then he finally got his pitch, which was a changeup down where he loves it and out over the middle, and that's what happened with the Canary on the right arm, and it was a 2-run shot, and hopefully that has awakened the sleeping giant.
First home run of the year for Cespedes, and the Mets will have a little bit warmer weather to contend with tonight. Cespedes certainly did not love the cold weather of the last couple of days. It's the Mets and the Marlins opening a series at Citi Field. All the action coming your way tonight right here on SNY. Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Mazda. Driving matters. By the Better Network, Verizon. Better matters. And by Citi, proud partner of the New York Mets. Get to Citi Field Saturday, April 30th to watch the Mets battle the Giants at 4:05 p.m. The first 15,000 fans in attendance will receive a Noah Syndergaard gnome, courtesy of Citi. For tickets, visit Mets.com/tickets. See what we did there?
Yes.
Closed captioning for Mets baseball brought to you by Sideline. First appearance of the season for Steven Matz. 6 major league starts under his belt, 3 more in the postseason, and now his 2016 debut.
It's interesting to see. Everyone has their different ways of winding up and getting loose. His is to get all spread out and kind of throw from that position as he works on his control. But last year, 4 wins, no losses. The only issue I have with him, he's always struggled with his control a little bit. 10 days in between throwing the last time against the Cubs.
Both he and his counterpart Jared Kozar will have had a long stretch to sit as they both make their season debuts tonight. Mets and the Marlins, first pitch coming up from Citi Field. Steven Matz takes the Citi Field mound for the first time this season. A couple of raindrops fell just before game time. But the temperature in the 50s. Comfortable night for baseball. Here's your Hyundai Marlins starting lineup. Christian Yelich off to a very hot start. In fact, the Marlins as a team hitting .278, averaging 4.5 runs per game. They have hit well, not pitched particularly well over the first 4 games, 1 and 3, as they take on a left-handed starter for the first time tonight.
Well, it was interesting watching Steven in his first spring training where he knew he was going to make the ball club. He started out spring training very cold and got hot over his last 2 starts, especially with his command with his fastball and ability to throw secondary pitches for strikes.
And we'll take a quick look at your Metsy Lexus defense. And you know, there's not much change going on here. Terry Collins pretty much has a set lineup. Conforto, Cespedes, Granderson, David Wright,
Cabrera, Walker, Duda. It's got a pretty set lineup day in, day out, and that's a good thing. That's a sign of a good ball club.
But you know what's interesting, Keith? They have a set lineup, but they're not hitting. So you can't make any moves. You know, you just keep throwing them back out there.
Exactly. They're hitting 180.
Brand new hitting coach of the Marlins, Barry Bonds, bundled up in the Miami dugout. I don't know about you, but I never thought that that was going to happen.
Of course.
D. Gordon leads off. Last year's National League batting champ off to a good start. Matz throws a fastball for a strike, and we're underway. Steven made 6 starts for the Mets last year, went 4-0 with a 2.27 ERA. Season interrupted after his first 2 starts by a lat injury that cost him 2 months. Came back in time to make 4 more starts in September and then 3 more in the postseason.
It was just easy 95.
Coming out throwing hard and throwing strikes. And I would think, Ronnie, with the 10-day layoff, that you would want Steven to get out with the fastball and find a rhythm.
I agree. Just find command of that. Zuna on deck.
And the curveball popped up. Neil Walker says, "I got it." And that's the first out of the night. So D. Gordon, who had 35 hits against the Mets last year in his batting championship season, has retired the first time the Mets face him this year. And here's Marcell Ozuna, the center fielder. Off to a slow start, just 2 for 18. Last year struggled early in the season and wound up in the minor leagues for a stretch.
Well, to me, this is the wild card for this team. If he has a year like he had 2 years ago, this is going to be a team you're going to have to reckon with all season long.
That's had 1 start against the Marlins last September. A no decision for him. Gave up 2 runs in 5 1/3. And he misses with a changeup, 2-1.
Well, Ozuna had a off year last year after a 20+ home run year. Only hit 10 home runs last year.
Still only 25 years old and just immensely talented.
Off to a very tough start. Free swinger, doesn't walk. Only 30 walks last year in 123 games. I don't like him in the 2-hole. He just has no on-base percentage.
Another chance for Walker, down to 1 knee, plenty of time, 2 out. Umpiring crew tonight: Jordan Baker calling the balls and strikes, Tim Timmons at first, the crew chief Mike Everett at second, Paul Emmel at third, and back in the bunker in Chelsea, Dana DeMuth and Jerry Lane's crews are handling the replays. Here's Christian Yelich with 2 out and nobody on. Yelich off to a fast start, 4 for 11 with 6 walks, so a .579 on base percentage through the first 4 games.
Well, the young Yelich, I've been kind of campaigning for him to get in the 3rd hole, and the Marlins have finally made the move. He is a natural 3-hitter with Stanton behind him.
So you're saying it took a couple of 3-hitters to recognize a 3-hitter.
That's true.
Mattingly and Bonds.
You know, I've been pushing for him in that 3-hole, and surprisingly 6 walks with, there's Donnie, 6 walks already in this young season with Stanton hitting behind him.
That's surprising, isn't it?
You know what that shows me, Gary, is that he has a good knowledge of the strike zone.
Well, I think what you've said about their stand there, Keith, what you said about Conforto, I think that's going to be his rite of passage at some point.
1-2 coming, and Yelich takes just off the plate, 96, and just missed, 2-2.
And it is a ball just outside, and good. Look how he took it. Good balance. Look at the focus. Very well done.
Two for Matz, and a tapper hit down to third. Right charging in. Quick throw. Close play. Got it. Side retired. Steven Matz starts his season with a 1-2-3 inning. The Marlins might consider challenging the call at first base, and that's why Matz And a couple of the other Mets have remained on the field. The manager is supposed to come out immediately if he wants to challenge a play at the end of the inning.
Safe easily.
Oh,
sorry. I thought it was going to be safe.
He got his heel down, but he didn't really hit the bag until right when the ball arrived with Duda. That would be a tough call, but they are going to challenge. That's a hard one, isn't it?
It really is.
it's interesting that early in the game you would take a chance at this, but you got that big home run hitter in the on-deck circle.
Well, if they overturn it, then it certainly gives Stanton the opportunity to bat with a man on and get the Marlins off to a fast start.
Do you think also if you're a manager of a new ball club and your third place hitter hustles down to first base, you think about it and say, you know what, it's a good thing to challenge, to reward good play. That I'm behind you, have your back.
When you guys look at that play, what do you think?
If his heel hit the bag, he's safe. If it didn't, he's out.
I say tie base, goes to the runner.
There you go.
That's the one you got to cheat on. But now with this replay, is a first baseman cheating? That's challengeable, right?
Yeah.
Sure. If you're off the bag too soon, it's like the neighborhood play at second.
Watch the heel. Okay, I don't think that touches the bag. But then he flips down.
Ooh. Let's see.
Keep going. Is he on the bag yet? Now he is.
I think it's a tie base.
Okay.
It's very close. Plan to review brought to you by Mazda. Driving matters.
I'm going to get the whiteout out.
But it was another play where David Wright took a long time getting rid of the ball, and that's what made it a close play.
Can we take a look at, we got time here. Can we take a look at David and see if he double clutched on that like he does? He does that double tap. Let's see. And that's the bad habit that is the split second that makes this a close play.
I don't even want to say Yelich is sneaky fast. He's just fast.
Well, that's a play where David's got to know he's got to get rid of it quickly.
All right.
But not quickly enough there to avoid suspended animation, which is where we find ourselves right now.
I'm gonna bring up a little big man movie line here. There's Yelich busting down the line. And Richard Mulligan playing Custer. He called him safe. A Custer decision.
You guys are exchanging the whiteout?
I got to buy a whiteout. I'm borrowing Gary's. They made a Custer decision. And it's the right call.
So Yelich gets credit for an infield hit. 2 minutes 10 seconds on the replay time. So that's twice in the last 2 days we've had replay reviews that have taken more than 2 minutes to decide. And I don't know about you guys, but I think one of the ways that they can make the replay rule work better is to have a time limit. Here's Stanton, who takes ball one. Stanton missed the second half of last season after getting hit by a pitch and breaking the hamate bone in his left hand.
And he's got the guard on against the left-hander.
Right, that's from being hit in the face 2 years ago.
In spring training, you recall, Gary, Ron, he did not wear it against left-handers.
Yeah, but this is a different kind of left.
Those 95 plus.
Stanton last year, 279 at bats, 27 home runs.
It seemed like he wasn't playing for a month, and he still had the most home runs and RBIs for a long time.
Yelich at first and 2 out. And Matz comes inside. 2-1.
91 there.
He cut that ball a little bit.
He did cut it. I think it's interesting when you watch a good pitcher the first time through on the first night. How do they pitch against the slugger?
Change up.
Now let me ask you this, Ronnie. You had a situation where Matz, the inning was over. He was walking toward the dugout, and now he has to come back to the mound and retool.
It's not easy. We talked about the 10 days off. He's thinking that, boy, a 1-2-3 inning, got through that. That's great. But it's all part of the maturation process. These things are going to happen in today's game.
Well, he knows all about having to wait. If you remember, his major league debut against the Reds here last year was the second game of a doubleheader, and the first game went 13 innings. And he sat, and he sat, and he sat, and he finally got a chance to take the mound. And it was a very successful day for him. He strikes out Stanton with a fastball, and for the second time, Matz puts a close to the inning. Good start for Steven Matz, and now the Mets will come to bat in the bottom of the first with no score. Curtis Granderson leads off against Jarred Cozart as the Mets come to bat in the home first.
And speaking of bad starts, go ahead, Garrett. Curtis is off to a bad one.
1 for 20 to start the year. He remains on top of the batting order, brought to you by Geico, and Cozart falls behind him 2-0. Last year, when Granderson got off to a slow start, he was drawing a lot of walks, not so much early this year.
Kind of year that had its stops and starts. Cozart suffered from vertigo last year during the season. 2 years ago, he was traded for, I think, the main player, and it was Jake Marisnick. Came over from Houston. He ended up being 13-11 that year and pitched some great baseball for the Marlins.
And 10 starts for the Marlins at the end of 14 at a 2.39 ERA, which gave them great hope. It's slowly down to first. Chris Johnson playing there, flips to Cozart for the first out.
Well, I tell you one thing is that they're going to be, the players are very happy. It's a warmer night tonight.
It's hardly balmy, but it's in the mid-50s, which after the last few days feels like we're at the equator. Here's David Wright. David 4 for 15 to start the year. Had a couple of hits his last 2 at bats yesterday, including a ball he drove into the gap in right center. He has 2 doubles this year, and both have been hit to right center, which when David first came up in 2004, early in his career, he was very much a right center field hitter.
Well, the Mets offensively are coming to the game hitting 180 as a team, and that's not going to stay there. It's last in the National League. They're last in runs, slug percentage, and on base percentage, but it's not going to last for very long. They'll get into the groove. They got too many good hitters on this team.
Yeah, the only piece of that, and Terry Collins said this before the game today, is the Mets didn't swing the bats very well in spring training either.
Right.
It was very much a spring training of fits and starts as far as their offense was concerned. A lot of guys, they didn't necessarily play consistently, especially early on. David got off to a late start as he takes up and in from Cozart.
I thought Terry Collins was pretty funny. You see this cutter that doesn't cut on the inside part up and into David.
He rips one off the glove of Prado, and Echeverria's throw far too late, and Wright is aboard. He hit a bullet and a ball that Prado normally catches, but not this time. And David will get credit for a base hit.
Snow cone? Yes, sir. Just off the tip of the glove. Very good defensive infield here at the outside of first base that the Marlins have.
Nice to see David after one up and in. Last one hits a bullet.
Yep.
I was saying that Terry Collins was pretty funny. He was saying that around this time you always get the questions from the reporters. What about the backups? You're going to get them in there? He said backups?
No.
Can't even get the lineup going.
No.
Well, and he said if the lineup doesn't hit soon, all the backups will be in there. I think he was kidding, but right now just trying to get into a groove, playing some games in a row. Cespedes hit the home run yesterday that might get him untracked. Taking all the way after he wanted to call for time and didn't get it.
Big 2-run shot yesterday.
Cozart gets the fastball over. Cespedes earlier today was presented with his Gold Glove, which he won last year as an American League left fielder. Finished the year as a National League center fielder. But for his 4 months with the Tigers, he was voted the Gold Glove in the American League and received that award today.
Look how nice that is. They're much prettier than the ones they used to give us. They used to spray paint the leather.
Oh, and remember the sides always had the baseballs were in these prongs and they would fall out of the prong.
Yeah.
So you're saying they've upgraded?
They did upgrade.
Award. It's nice to know there's progress in the game.
I missed it. I missed so many things that their parents had waited 20 years. Jeez. Ron?
Right at first and 1 out, 2-2 to Cespedes with Duda on deck.
They have set up inside on Cespedes almost every pitch, trying that front door cutter.
Front door cutter. That's one of Cozart's weapons.
Here's Big Don.
See, Mattingly's asking to catch Real Muto. Where's that pitch? Inside? Real Muto confirmed that.
I'll tell you, Don Mattingly, one of the great hitters of his generation.
3-2 and 1 out. Wright playing very close to the bag, not going, and Cespedes drills one down the line. Foul.
Can't live in that inside corner. Oh, when the rib. Oh, honey. I got you right there. Yeah. Oh.
She's laughing, but
You got the ball. That's why.
And she didn't drop the beer, so all's good. Again, the 3-2. And he hits this one to center right at Ozuna, straight as a string for the second out.
Well, that's another good sign here, and we'll take a long look at the Miami Marlin defense. That's always we'll do the replay first here. This is a good sign. Pretty good pitch. He likes that ball down, even though a little out in front, but still hit a rocket. If you're going to make outs, you want to make hard outs.
Well, that's 2 hard hit balls in a row for Wright and Cespedes. 2 out and a runner at first for Duda. Lucas 4 for 18 to start the year, and 0 for his last 7. Mets were held to 3 hits on Saturday night and 4 hits yesterday against the Phillies.
Wright and Cespedes had 2 apiece.
Phillies went home and lost their home opener this afternoon to the Padres 4-3. There's a call strike.
Oh, sneak one in here with the wow. That's sensory overload. Coors Light defense. I can't do this, folks. You got it. A great outfield. Strong arms in the outfield.
They barely gave you enough time to say Echeverria.
This caught me by surprise. Outstanding middle infield in Echeverria and the Gold Glover D. Gordon. As good as anybody in the league, if
right.
not the Major League Baseball.
Right now they've got Prado between them, with Gordon playing shallow right in the shift. And Cozart keeping it away from Duda. 2-1.
You see the shift right there. Echeverria is the rover.
Echeverria on the left side.
Left side, excuse me.
Gordon is
the rover.
Yeah. You know what's going to be hard to keep track of? I'm going to tell you in just a second with these shifts. Friday we're going to be in Cleveland. It's going to be Jackie Robinson Day.
Oh,
the players we're not so familiar with, all wearing the same number.
That's right.
We're going to have to be out early.
First look at guys like Kipnis and Lindor.
Our director is going to have to be on the ball with some tight shots.
Cozart behind 3-1 on Duda with Walker on deck, and Lucas pulls one down first, and Johnson has the ball catch him. Side retired. There's Johnson, who we're used to seeing on the other side of the diamond at third. Stuck out the glove, turned his head, and found the little pearl. And that's how Cozart gets the third out. with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. Martin Prado leads off the second inning against Steven Matz. Prado off to a good start, 6 for 17. That's .353 to start the year. Like D. Gordon, Prado had a great season against the Mets last year. He had .351 against Mets pitching.
Prado's a good player, journeyman, solid. I kind of always liked him as a two-hole hitter. He goes the other way. He knows how to play the game.
When you look at Ozuna in the 2 spot and Prado in the 5th spot, you can certainly make the case that the lineup would look more right if they flip those 2 guys.
I would think so. And you look last year at Ozuna.
It's ball 4, and so Matz walks Prado on 4 pitches to start the second.
Ozuna only walked 30 times last year. Gary had a .308 on base percentage. Where Prado's a .338, not great. He only walked 37 times, but it's better than what Ozuna has, and Ozuna has more pop.
Here's Chris Johnson getting his first start of the year. This is the first lefty that the Marlins have faced. Justin Bour is the regular first baseman. Don Mattingly said in spring training he intends to give Bour some starts against lefties, but not the first one.
I agree with Don. I like Bour. I like his swing. He's a big, strong kid. Got some pop. He's got a chance to be a very dangerous hitter.
Johnson spent last year with Atlanta and Cleveland. The changeup misses from Matz, a ball and a strike. Stevens 24 years old now, 2nd round pick by the Mets in '09. And in the ensuing 6.5 years, has not thrown a lot of baseball. Of course, he missed 3 years right out of the gate with Tommy John surgery. And even last year, he makes his major league debut, makes 2 starts, and is out for 2 months. And that's really been a recurring theme with Steven. Just trying to keep him on the field has been the most difficult task, because when he has pitched, he's been great at every level he's pitched at. Last year had the lat muscle injury, and you'd have to think that the caution the Mets have shown with Jacob deGrom and his lat tightness has at least a little bit to do with what happened with Matz last year. Felt the lat a little bit that first start against the Reds, didn't really say anything. They sent him out the second start against the Dodgers, and then they had to shut him down for 2 months. deGrom, by the way, is on his way back to Florida. His wife is now in labor. It was 3-2 to Johnson.
Oh, and Jordan Baker's the home plate umpire has got a little tight strike zone early in the game.
We used to always say, what? Punch a hole in that mask. You're missing a good game.
3-2 with nobody out. Prado at first. He's running. Johnson takes ball 4. Another close pitch.
Low.
But now back-to-back walks by Matz have put the first 2 men on.
Interesting choice of pitches here. A little cutter on that 3-2 count. That's down. Travis d'Arnaud, you can't fault him. He goes through with the play. You just don't know. Must not have heard Baker. These are the things that plagued Steven a little bit last season, but more in spring training, the walks.
Well, particularly, too, what's going to multiply, compound it is the 10 days off.
Well, with his injuries, this is only his 76th regular season start.
Right.
You know, so when you're a high school kid and you sign, that's 3 years of development. That's not even enough to get you ready for the big leagues. So he's learning on the go.
There's JT Realmuto, who had a nice rookie year last year, hit .259 with 10 home runs. First full year in the big leagues for Realmuto, and he takes a fastball first strike. Realmuto, the rare catcher who's not easy to double up. He can run.
Had 8 stolen bases last year.
Now, the way we were talking about deGrom, going home for the birth of his son. The Mets are not going to put him on the paternity list. You could put him on the paternity list for 3 days, bring him another player, but they won't do that just in case they have to put him on the disabled list, because if he's on the paternity list, then they can't backdate him on the DL. That's toward the hole, and a base hit for Real Muto. Probably the third. He'll be held up there by Lenny Harris, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
I cannot believe that the third base coach Lenny Harris put the hold on Prado.
Put it up right away, didn't he? But with no outs, I guess. But the problem is you have the 8th and 9th place hitter.
Oh, he had it easy, and if you overthrow a cutoff man, you got second and third on a bad throw. I thought right there,
he could have stopped him, but let him come around the bag and see where you're at then.
Exactly.
Instead of stopping him so soon.
You see Prado pulled up a little bit when he got the early hold sign. He would have been around second base. For third base, excuse me.
So Matz putting himself in jeopardy with a couple of walks. Now a base hit by Real Muto loads the bases with nobody out, and the number 8 hitter Adeiny Echeverria comes to bat. Echeverria, who had a terrific year last year, hit .281, 4 for 14 to start this season. Mets will concede a run on a ground ball to a middle infielder, but keep the corners in.
You can use this to your advantage here. Echeverria is a really good player, but he's a cutter and slasher. He wants to go up there to swing the bat, especially with the bases loaded. He's not going to show a lot of patience. Once you get ahead of him, don't throw him another strike.
And a late swing foul. 0-2. Prado at third, Johnson at second, Real Muto at first, and nobody out. Through their first 4 games, the Marlins are hitting .343 as a team with runners in scoring position. The pitcher Cozart on deck.
Echeverria had a lot of success in the 8-hole last year.
Just missed inside, 1-2.
Hits over 300 in the 8-hole, 308 to be exact. Struggled in other parts of the order. I don't know what to take away from that.
You'd think it would be harder to hit in that 8-hole.
Yeah.
With the pitcher batting behind you.
So we've seen already with Matz, he will throw a fastball inside the righties and he'll cut it inside the righties. So 2 different ways of getting the ball in on the right-handed hitter. I would like to see him elevate a pitch here. Something out of the strike zone, up around neck level for Echeverria.
One-two coming. He fouls that one away.
Dan Morton. I'm sorry, Gary. Dan got a very nice ovation opening day.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Matt's ahead on Echeverria, 1-2. And he pulls one over the bag, off the cushion, and down the line. Prado is in to score. Johnson right behind him. Real Muto goes to third. A 2-run single for Adeiny Echeverria puts the Marlins up 2-0.
Changeup, I believe, Keith. Let's see. No, cutter. My fault.
Stayed in. Just didn't do much. Off the glove of Dave. Oh, off the bag. Well, I don't think Brooks Robinson's making that play.
David was going into a dive. I don't think he had any chance to stop that ball, even if it doesn't hit the bag.
Another 8th place in the lineup hit for Echeverria.
Now Cozart in there to bunt. So 4 straight Marlins have reached base to start the second inning. The first 2 via the walk, and those 2 have scored. Cozart 5 for 38 in his career at the plate.
They've got a lot of young talent in the everyday players as far as their lineup is concerned, this Marlin ball club.
You've got to know now as the pitcher, you have no outs. If a ball is bunted hard back to you, before you proceed to try to turn a double play, you have to look Real Muto back. Place an eyeball on him, then go.
So many teams will execute a safety squeeze in this spot these days, much more than they used to. That's a nice bunt by Cozart. Duda gives a brief look and then makes the play to first. Real Muto came a good 30 feet down the line.
Sure did.
So it's a sacrifice for Cozart, 3-4, moving Echeverria to second.
Watch Real Muto on the left screen here. Look what he does. He comes down the line a little bit, but David's anchored at third base, and he couldn't pull a sneaky on him.
So that's the first out of the inning. Runners at second and third for D. Gordon, who popped up to Neil Walker his first time up. And the corners have to stay in against Gordon because he's always a threat to try to beat out a bunt for a hit. D. Gordon last year led the National League in batting average. He led the National League in stolen bases, and he led the National League in hits. First player in the National League to lead in all 3 categories since Honus Wagner 107 years earlier.
Wow.
Marlins got him in a trade with the Dodgers, and it has turned out to be a spectacular deal for Miami.
I have no idea what D. Gordon was thinking there. Scoring around a bunt, and now he's 1-2. Some big runs out there to drive in.
I mean, it wasn't like he was disguising his intentions, almost like he was taking all the way.
It's a big run.
So Honus Wagner and Jackie Robinson.
It's good.
Last year's great year.
It's good company. 1-2 from Matz. Back past the mound, a run will score. Sliding behind the bag is Walker. He has no play, and Gordon's got an infield hit, and it's 3-0 Miami.
And not hit hard, but with Gordon's speed, Walker knew he had no shot to throw him out. Well, another infield hit for the youngster, the batting champ, I should say.
Well, he's got the speed to get a lot of infield hits. In fact, he led the league in infield hits last year. So 3 runs are in on 3 hits and 2 walks, and here's Marcell Ozuna, first and third and 1 out. And now Matz has to pay attention to Gordon, who's looking for his first stolen base of this year after stealing 58 a year ago. There goes Gordon, and it's fouled off.
I think the Mets already have someone in the bullpen up. I think it's Hansel Robles.
Well, Logan Verrett would normally be the long man, but Verrett is going to start on Wednesday afternoon in place of Jacob deGrom. So the Mets essentially are 1 short in the bullpen tonight.
There's Hansel.
Hansel's got a rubber arm. We use their old baseball parlance.
And breadcrumbs. 1-1 to Ozuna. Well, it was an up and down spring for Matz. Started off poorly, had that great outing the last time out against the Cubs with 5 hitless innings, but that was 10 days ago. And it's been a very uneven beginning to this game.
And this is just, it's hard to criticize when a guy's been out for 10 days, but he's come into this game trying to throw all 4 pitches. That's not hard to do when you haven't pitched in a while. So his kind of stuff could probably get through the first 3 innings with just 2 effective pitches.
Now he's ahead on Ozuna 1-2.
You know what I'm saying? Like jack of all trades, master of none kind of deal.
He's getting ahead of some hitters. He can't put them away.
Well, we saw with young Vince Velasquez night before last, throwing all fastballs early in the game until he got himself established and then mixed in his other stuff.
Well, he's forgotten his curveball too.
There goes Gordon, pitch inside, throw by Darno, not in time, and holding at third is Echeverria. First stolen base of the year for Gordon.
The Marlins came into this game, a good pitch to throw too, up, no wasted motion. Just, it's easier to steal off of a left-hander than it is a right-hander because you can take a chance when they break from the belt. I don't know, Echeverria's got to calm down. So these are the at-bats as a hitter, Gary, that you love because you've got a pitcher, no matter how great he is or how mediocre, in trouble, second and third, and in trouble, and you've got him in a tough spot, not finding his rhythm. And this is all what it comes down to, getting the good pitchers out early. Get them out of the game.
Curveball bounced toward third, and that's a foul ball. Would have been hard for David to throw anybody out had he fielded this ball in fair territory, but it was just outside the line.
They had some funny spin on it because it looked like it was working its way back onto the field.
He's lucky it's foul. He snow-coned that.
Well, he wasn't throwing Ozuna out anyway.
Want to see that bounce? That bounce to the right.
Yep.
I think David knew it was foul, excuse me, and just wanted to get a glove on it and get it done and over with.
Matz has already thrown 31 pitches in this inning. Second and third and one out, the infield back. And the curveball popped up. Duda might have a play. And does. 2 out. There's a big out for Steven Matz as he tries to work his way through this second inning.
Boy, a chance to blow the game wide open, and you throw a hanging curveball right here and you pop it up. Just a spinner. Oh my word.
It's not every perfect pitch.
That's right. Get away with them. You get them away. Get away with them.
So now 2 out, 2 in scoring position for Christian Yelich, who had an infield hit his first time up. Originally ruled an out at first and then overturned on replay. And Matz gets the fastball over. The 3 runs that Stevens given up in this game matches the most he's ever given up in a major league game, either regular season or postseason. An idea how good he's been so quickly in his career.
You just can't stay one way though with Yelich. That's how good he is. If he just stays in that outside corner, he will hit that ball to left field. Great back control.
Well, there are a lot of 3 hitters who you might think about walking in this spot. It's hard to do that in this Marlins lineup with Stanton looming on deck. And that slider misses outside. 2-1.
I always liked in a situation lefty tough left-hander, Gary, to look for that ball on the outside part of the plate and try to get it in that hole between third and shortstop, particularly in a situation where you can drive in 2 runs.
Right back to the slider. 2-2.
Stay away. Lefties always feel that they can get their safety spot is the outside corner, and they like their breaking balls. And where's the breaking ball going to be? On the outside part of the plate.
This will be Matz's 37th pitch of the inning. 2-2 to Yelich. And the curveball line to center field. Cespedes coming on, but he'll have to play it on a hop. Echeverria scores. Gordon right behind him. Christian Yelich with a 2-run single, and the Marlins have put up a 5 spot against Steven Matz in the second inning.
Another curveball up, Ron.
Yeah. The 1 to Ozuna he got away with the pop up to Duda. Did not against the better hitter Yelich.
I just don't. If that's a curveball, he didn't get on top. It stayed up in the belt area.
The better the hitter, when you make a mistake with 2 strikes, they're trying to protect. They're going to get a good swing on it.
Now Stanton takes a rip at a fastball. Stanton, the 9th man up in the inning. 2 walks and 4 hits have combined to plate 5 runs for Miami. Stanton struck out his first time up. How much further do you go with Steven Matz?
Well, early in the season, and I know what you're saying is that you fight with this. How do you not get totally out of the game or behind by so many runs? But at the same time, he hasn't pitched in 10 days. I mean, how is he going to find it? He's not going to find it in the bullpen or inside at on the bike.
And you got 5 runs in, Garrett, and you can't take him out against a lefty-lefty matchup. So you got a runner on first. Take your chances.
Stanton drives it deep left center, headed back toward the wall, and it's out of here. And the roof is caved in on Steven Matz. Giancarlo Stanton with his second home run of the year, a 2-run shot, and it's a 7-run second inning for Miami. How long? I guess this long. So a nightmarish first start of the year for Steven Matz. He exits after an inning and 2/3. Stanton putting on the capper with a 2-run homer. Matz out, Robles in. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. 7-0 Miami in the second. Steven Matz's night prematurely.
They have batted around, Garrett.
Martin Prado started the inning. He's up again now against Hansel Robles, and he takes a fastball outside. Third appearance for Robles, who was suspended the first 2 games of the season. Pitched Friday, Saturday against the Phillies.
Well, there's the numbers you were just talking about, Gary. Robles, who had a strong season for the Mets last year. Seems like the home plate umpire, Jordan Baker, if he's going to call a pitch, it's the pitch down.
So Matz goes an inning and 2/3, allowed 7 runs and 6 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, and a home run. And the problem with a bad first start, it makes your ERA awfully unsightly.
Yeah, it sits with you for a while.
37.80. Prado down on a high fastball, and that ends the inning, but not before the Marlins score 7 and knock Matz out of the box. Mets with a big hole to try and find out of as they come up in the bottom of the second against Jared Cozart. Neil Walker leads off. Cozart was in that dugout for a long time watching his team score 7 runs.
You don't mind being in there a long time when they throw a copter party out there, 7 runs. But Cozart has really only thrown cutters is really what he's been concentrating on.
Copter
party? 7 is a copter party.
What do you, I don't understand.
When you play dice in California, when you call the dice whatever, you want to say 7 6s, it's a copter party of 6s. You ever play dice in California? You shake the dice up and you play like liar's dice.
You've got 2 very confused partners now.
I'll bring in the cups and I'll teach you guys.
Is it like Yahtzee?
It's a little bit like Yahtzee. It is. Absolutely.
Okay. I've never heard that one. I'm still confused.
Michael Conforto on deck. And Cozart behind on Walker, 3-1. Cozart gave up an infield hit to David Wright in the first inning. Mets hit 3 balls hard, though, of the 4 batters. So he wasn't exactly fooling anybody in that first inning. We'll see if the Mets can make some hay against him in the second as Walker takes a strike, 3-2. And Steven Matz's 6 starts combined last year, he gave up 9 runs. 7 today in an inning and 2/3. Walker down on strikes, and there's the first strikeout for Jared Cozart.
You know, we always talk about trying to make sure that it all looks the same. That fastball he really lets go, but on his secondary pitches in this game, he is just slowing his body down just enough so these real good hitters can make the adjustment. There's the curveball there. Watch the changeup. Just slows his arm action up just enough that guys at this level will see it. He is a work in progress. We talked about it before. He's going to work on it and get better and better. But those are little things that you try to work on.
And I can tell you as a hitter, Ronnie, when a pitcher slows down his motion on any particular pitch, usually his secondary pitches, it is an extraordinarily large advantage for the hitter.
One and 1 to Michael Conforto. Michael 4 for 15 to start the year. has 2 hits and has only 2 career at bats against Jarred Cozart. And they have the full shift on against Michael. And he bounces one slowly. Cozart fumbles it, but has time and makes the play. 2 out. 2 out and nobody on. Let's check in with Steve Gill.
Guys, we were talking about Steven Matson. The big thing he worked on this offseason and in spring training was trying to get better and more consistent from the stretch. Thought that was a big problem of his last season. Obviously, it's still a work in progress here with the Marlins going 5 for 8 with runners on base tonight. But Steven Matz said that for him last year at times, he felt his motion would break down out of the stretch. He would lose that arm slot, especially on the curveball. He would lose the feel for the curveball a little bit. So who knows if it's just 10 days in between pitching right now, or he still has work to do on pitching from the stretch, but it's something worth watching here moving forward.
You know, with Johan Santana that was here, you can err on putting more into your changeup, but you can never err on putting less arm action. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you slow it down, you're in big trouble. If you make it quicker than your fastball pace, it can work because it can fool the hitter.
One on one to Asdrubal Cabrera with 2 out and nobody on. And there's a strike on the inside.
I was just noticing after the swinging bunt from Conforto that Cozart comes off the mound, and when he goes back to get it, it's almost like he was hobbling a little bit, like he tweaked something, maybe his finger or something else. But then he looked up and said he had 7 runs, so he feels fine now.
Give me 5. What we call 5 and fly.
Could he have had his finger in his glove and got slipped that way?
Yeah, and sometimes the ball will hit right off your fingernail.
Stub your finger. Yep. The tip of your finger. He's got some baggy pants working.
Going back to Matz as we look at Cozart again.
No. So it's something else aggravated him.
Maybe on that stop and turn.
Took up a little divot there.
Going back to Matz, he threw 59 pitches, only 18 without anybody on base. So he never really had a chance to settle in. Those 2 walks to start the second inning just put him behind the 8 ball, and he never recovered.
I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. He looked rusty, and that happens when you have 10 days off.
3-2 to Cabrera. And he goes down swinging on the cutter from Cozart. Second strikeout for Jarred Cozart. And the Mets are down 1-2-3. Shutdown inning for Cozart. 7-0 Miami. Sunday on May 1st to watch the Mets take on the Giants at 1:10. The first 15,000 fans in attendance will receive a pair of Curtis Granderson baseball socks presented by East Coast Power and Gas. Plus, all kids 12 and under can run the bases after the game in the Mr. Met Dash. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Family Sundays. City probables for the remainder of this series. Great matchup of young, hard-throwing right-handers tomorrow night. Syndergaard against Fernandez. Logan Verrett gets a start Wednesday against the lefty Adam Conley. First pitch swinging. Chris Johnson hits one to deep center over the head of Cespedes and one hop to the wall. And so after a 7 spot in the second inning, the Marlins are off and running in the third.
Fastball inner half. This is the one thing with Robles that gets him in trouble. He is a hard thrower, but he can make too much of the fat of the plate. And you got big league hitters, and they like the fastball. I don't care how hard you throw.
So 7 hits now for Miami. And here's JT Realmuto, who had the first of the 5 hits in that 7-run second inning. The 7-run inning for the Marlins was their first 7-run inning on the road in 4 years. And did it against a Mets staff that came into the day with a team 2.05 ERA.
Let me ask you a question. All right, 7-0, you're winning. Realmuto's up, no outs, runner on second. Are you still trying to take one of those situation at bats?
No, you're going to hitting now.
Okay.
You go to hitting.
Thank you for the honesty.
I can tell you another story about that. When Whitey first came over and took over the Cardinals, when Ken Boyer was fired in 1980, and he brought a new culture, taught us how to win. And the emphasis for Whitey was getting the runners over, and he was a stickler with that. And if you didn't, he'd let you know. And I can remember myself being a left-hand hitter. If I didn't do it, it made me focus more on doing that. But I remember one particular game, we were down early like this, and Whitey walked down the dugout, the whole line of the guys, and said, "Guys, don't worry about situational hitting. Just go to hitting. The rest of the game until we get back."
Wow.
Try to get back into it.
But it's different if you're ahead 7-0 as opposed to behind 7-0.
Well, you got a slug to get back.
I mean, if it's this early in the game, it never hurts to tack on a run.
I understand, but you're looking to drive it in, Gare. Sorry.
Okay.
I got paid to drive him in.
Realmuto will do just that as he hits it to right center beyond the reach of Cespedes, but Johnson didn't read it well, and so he'll merely go to third. Should have easily scored on that. There's no way Cespedes was going to catch that ball. But Realmuto has his second hit, and the Marlins have first and third and nobody out.
Well, just a poor read. Look at the runner on second base, Johnson. Doesn't know what. Poor read. Just got to know where your center fielder is.
You're right, Keith. And he's also got to know what good is it going to do for him to tag up. Cespedes could throw him out. He's so slow. So go halfway.
Cost me a ribeye steak. Don't say I'm sorry. Let's get with it. Get alert. Let's go. Got to score in that.
So here's Echeverria, who drove in the first 2 Marlins runs with a base hit off the third base bag in that big second inning. And Robles throws one by him. Well, one of the consequences of the Mets having to go to the bullpen early today is that it might affect the way they handle the injury and paternity of Jacob deGrom. They went 1 short in the bullpen today, with Verrett scheduled to take deGrom's start on Wednesday. And as we mentioned earlier, they didn't put deGrom on the paternity list because then they couldn't backdate him on the disabled list. Well, now they might have to run through the whole bullpen tonight, which means they'll need an extra body here tomorrow, and they'll have to make some kind of move, whether it's the DL or the paternity list, one or the other. Echeverria flies one out to right. That'll get the run in. Granderson over to get it. Tagging at third is Johnson. And he comes in to score to make it 8-0 Miami. Third RBI of the game for Adeiny Hechavarria.
Second run scored for Chris Johnson. Just a fastball away and up. Well, not away, right down the middle and up.
Inner half.
Good at bat by Hechavarria. 2 good at bats in this game so far for the young shortstop.
He's got himself 3 RBIs tonight.
The Marlins have a bunch of everyday players who are good and young. There's Kozar taking a strike. I mean, Gordon is the dean. He's 27, but Ozuna's 25, Yelich is 24, Stanton's 26, Real Muto's 25, Hechavarria's 26. That is a tremendous core of young players.
Yes, it is.
And most of them are still getting better.
They need some pitching.
They only won 71 games last year, and that cost Mike Redmond his job midseason. Remember the GM Dan Jennings took over the team in midseason.
Interesting, the team played better when Stanton out of the lineup, which is hard to believe.
Well, their biggest issue right now is their bullpen. Once you get past A.J. Ramos, their closer, there's not a lot that they can depend on out there.
Injury to Carter Capps really hurt them.
And Mike Dunn is hurt right now too, which doesn't help. Kozar lines it, and it's caught by Duda in foul territory for the second out.
Well, this fastball is up and in. No good, not a very good angle by Kozar, and just an easy play for Lucas.
But you put together those position players with Jose Fernandez, who's anybody's top of the line starter. They signed Wei-Yin Chen, the lefty, and with Kozar and Adam Connolly and Tom Kohler, their rotation could be pretty good.
Well, you know, it's interesting in the National League when you think of outfielders or an outfield trio, you go right to Pittsburgh. You know, you think they're going to have the best, but very underrated here. Ozuna, slugger. Stanton, maybe the best slugger.
Conforto drifting back and left and catches Gordon's fly ball to end the inning. But the Marlins tack on a run and lead it 8-0 as we head to the bottom of the third at Citi Field. agglomeration of different foodstuffs in that helmet?
Nachos in a helmet. Come on.
Those nachos?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I saw some jalapenos in there. I saw some pico de gallo. Didn't see any actual chips, which, you know, kind of confused me.
There's a chip right there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. There you go. Well, they were buried. Darno bounces one foul.
So I guess you get 2 for the price of 1, or maybe 2 for the price of 2. You get the helmet after you finish your meal.
You're going to put that helmet on your head after?
No, you can't put it in the dishwasher because I'm sure the emblem will get faded after a while. So you got to wash it by hand.
What is that on the right there that she just ate? Is that like onions or sauerkraut, or what is that?
It looks a little bit like sauerkraut, which is a New York feel, I guess, to the nachos.
She had her chance at the big time, but she had her hoodie on.
Well, she got her nachos on the air. So Robles is going to take a turn at bat. He's worked an inning in the 3rd out of the bullpen. And the curveball from Cozart misses, one of the few breaking balls he's thrown in this game. First start of the year for Cozart, who, like Matz, went a long time without pitching before finally getting on the mound, but he's handled it so far better.
Well, here's a nice story. Tonight's home opener in St. Louis, Lou Brock, who lost his leg from the, I don't know which one, from the knee down, has a prosthesis. 6 months ago, he had the surgery, Lou, with an infection. Threw out the first pitch in St. Louis.
Oh, that's great.
To Ted Simmons. Isn't that fantastic?
Ball forward to Darno, and the Mets have a leadoff base run.
Very nice.
And the Cardinals, to boot, won their home opener. So after losing their first 3, they've won their last 4.
Who got the win tonight for them?
Walker went 6 scoreless.
Yeah, they beat up on Milwaukee.
And Jeremy Hazelbaker went 4 for 4.
Ex-Red Sox farmhand who made the team because Ruben Tejada couldn't make the call.
This will be the first major league plate appearance for Hansel Robles. He had 7 plate appearances in the minors, 0 for 5 with 2 sacrifices, and he'll go up there to bunt. Not sure why you bunt in this spot down by 8 runs.
Well, if he's going to bunt, just make sure he keeps that finger behind the bat. You can see that thumb creeping over the top of that bat. See it? You don't want that. You catch one off the thumb to break your thumb.
So David Cohn get hurt that way.
You know, it's hard to blame him. He never takes in that bat, never works on it.
If you're going to bunt here, he just walked Darno and he's thrown 2 balls. I would put the take sign on.
Yeah, I would too.
I'd put the take on and hope that you can get this guy to walk the pitcher. And Gary, I think the reason why, I think if you had Verrett ready and the bullpen is 1 short, he's looking to get a lot of innings out of Robles.
I have no problem with him taking the turn at bat. I just don't know why you're bunting. Why don't you just let him swing the bat?
What you just said earlier, chip away.
You need a bigger chip.
That's a 60-degree wedge. That's not even a.
I mean, it's not the 12th hole at the Masters.
It's not Spieth's chip, I'll tell you that.
Well, maybe he'll have a chance to swing the bat now on 2-2.
A lot of the relievers, when they get up, I was looking at the label to see, yeah, he has his own bat. Some relievers don't even have their own bats. They usually borrow a starter's bat.
So you're telling me that the clubhouse kids have to pack up bats for a reliever who might get 1 plate appearance all year?
No, I think that's just because you're at home, he has the bat.
I see. Straight back to the mound. Cozart gets the out at second, and they turn the double play. 1-6-4 on the double play.
Well, look at how tight third baseman Prado right down Robles' throat. And that puts the pressure on the bunter.
Maybe Terry was thinking if I bunt him, they keep us out of the double play.
Could have done that swing of the bat.
a tailor-made double play, and there's that slide rule. You've got to slide into the bag.
Boy, the meaning of the two-word phrase slide rule has certainly changed since we were kids.
They're catching a lot of flack, Major League Baseball, about this new rule. The Utley rule, I guess, is silly.
So answer me this question as Curtis Granderson stands in. And we'll have to ask it next inning. As Echeverria throws out Granderson's side retired. So Cozart has 3 scoreless innings, working with the big lead, 8-0 Miami as we go to the 4th. The 3rd in relief. He'll continue on into the 4th as we check in with Steve Gelbs.
Gary, pun not intended here, but probably necessary, because the story of the Major League Baseball season early on here is Trevor Story, the rookie sensation so far for the Rockies. After a brief 1-game hiatus, jacked another home run yesterday. That makes 7 in his first 6 games of the season, first 6 games of his Major League career. No one in the history of baseball has ever done that before, as Ozuna pulls that one right over the bag, and he's in standing up. Or sliding, pardon me, for a double right there. But Trevor Story, 7 home runs, 6 games. No one in the history of baseball has ever done that in his team's first 6 games. The previous record was 6 home runs in 6 games by guys named Willie Mays, Larry Walker, and Mike Schmidt as well. So who knows how it's going to end for Trevor Story here, but certainly turning some heads early on.
Amazing.
Well, he was named Player of the Week in the National League. American League Player of the Week, Tyler White from the Houston Astros, the young man who won the first baseman's job.
And that has never happened before. There's never been a first week of the season where rookies have been named Player of the Week in each league. I mean, think how unlikely that is.
That's right.
I mean, especially these days when most rookies are being held back. Remember, Chris Bryant last year didn't play the first 2 weeks because they were trying to cost him a year of service time. Well, not the story in Houston or in Colorado, and those guys have both made some history.
Wow.
Well, you might move down that list, and the Mets have only 2 home runs.
But the most stunning part of this is not so much the Rockies at the 17. The Giants aren't a power hitting ball club. They got 14.
Well, it's an even year.
Good point. They had a nice come from behind victory yesterday against the Dodgers.
Joe Panik had the big hit in that game as they won 9-6.
Belt hit a big home run.
And Belt just signed a new 5-year contract.
Big time. Yeah, 70 something.
79.
Yep. $79 million. Geez, what can I do with that? Let me think on that for an inning.
Christian Yelich is already 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs, and he's got a 3-1 advantage here with Stanton on deck. Nobody up in the Mets bullpen. It's up to Robles to eat this inning. Been talking about it since the beginning of the game. The Mets short in the bullpen. This was probably the worst possible day for them to have a starter knocked out early. I was going to ask you the last inning because Keith referenced the slide rule and called it the Chase Utley rule.
Yeah.
How come when they made the home plate collision rule, it was named after the guy who got hurt in Buster Posey, and when they named the rule at second base, it was the guy who caused the injury?
Bigger name. That's how it works.
Not fair.
The more famous person it gets named after.
Robles strikes out Yelich for the first out. I mean, you know, Ruben Tejada should have gotten something for his efforts.
It's like the Jim Lomberg clause in the contracts, right?
Well, he's the guy who got hurt.
Right? With the skiing on the slopes of Aspen. We won't say who with. We don't want to be redundant in the booth. But he tore his, ACL, whatever he did, Ronnie, Cy Young, and never was the same again. And as a result, part of the uniform contract is a Lomberg clause where players can't go skiing.
Giancarlo Stanton hit a laser beam into the seats in left center his last time up. That knocked Steven Matz out of the game and put the capper on a 7-run second inning for the Marlins. Second home run of the year for Stanton. The 184th of his career. Check it, I gave him too much credit. 183rd of his career.
Well, it's real interesting. You know, I mean, he really is sluggo. He comes up there and he is looking to hit the ball 500 feet off you. I mean, if you're a pitcher, you're not intimidated by it. I remember Jack Clark and Mike Schmidt. They all had the big swings. But it does get your attention, I'll tell you that.
22 home runs against the Mets, and he's only 26 years old. He could be the guy who catches Stargell, right? 60 home runs against the Mets.
And now he gets to work with Barry Bonds. Although I don't know, Barry knows a lot, but you don't have to teach Stanton too much.
Barry looks good. Looks fit.
Did you see the Marlins played the Nats over the weekend? See, Barry had some nice and interesting things to say about Bryce Harper.
Pure, just classic Barry, by the way.
He said basically he's really, really good. It's not me.
It basically
don't get crazy.
Who was it? Was it Walter Mondale that said it to Dan Quayle? You're
no Jack Kennedy?
You're no Jack Kennedy? That's about what Barry meant. You're no Barry Bonds.
I think it was Lloyd Benson.
It was Lloyd Benson, yes. Very good. Good call, Garrett. In the vice presidential debate.
Right.
You guys are talking a lot of politics. There must be something crazy going on.
It's a blowout.
1-2 coming to Stanton. And he fouls off another one.
Well, last year the Mets had some success against Stanton early in the season by pounding him in. We haven't seen a lot of that yet. Steven tried to do it. Steven Matz tried to do it. Threw one by him inside, threw him one up by him for the strikeout in his first at bat.
And Robles goes up and away to get him this time for the second out of the inning. Third strikeout for Robles.
He's so far off the plate, Keith. That's a long way to reach to get that pitch on the outside part.
He's a stiff swinger. He's just so doggone strong.
So too, Ozuna still at second after his leadoff double, and now Martin Prado, who's walked and struck out today. Prado, the only Marlins position player without a base hit in this game. Marlins 8 runs, 9 hits. The Mets no runs and 1 hit. By the way, do you happen to see in the Phillies loss today, they had some more trouble with the infield fly rule twice in the first half dozen games of the season?
It's too late to go back to Clearwater for a day, isn't it?
This was one that was popped up into shallow left that I guess the Phillies thought should not have been an infield fly, kind of like in that
Cardinal Braves game,
right, that postseason game.
Pete Kozma.
And the Phillies had a runner thrown out at third trying to advance after the ball fell. After Cesar Hernandez's misadventures the other day here.
Well, I stand corrected on the Phillies. I think the Phillies aren't that bad a ball club. They're young. I like their starting rotation. They're not as terrible as I thought they were.
I can't imagine they'll generate much offense, though.
No, I know, but I just think I like their starting pitching, Gare.
Well, Velasquez was so impressive.
Yes, so they're going to be okay. Not great, but they're not going to stink like I thought they were.
And the Braves?
Well, we've yet to see them, but they're winless, aren't they?
0-5. They're tied 4-4 with the Nats in the fourth inning tonight. And they got that they had that gruesome injury yesterday to Dan Winkler on the corner 3-2. Winkler, who had Tommy John surgery 2 years ago, fought all his way back and fractured his elbow throwing a pitch yesterday.
If you're of a certain age, all I could think of was Dave Trevecchi when I saw it.
Yeah, I remember that. Padres, Giants. Did he do it as a Giant? He did, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
Mr. Trevecchi had fought back from cancer.
Right.
And eventually lost that arm. 3-2 to Prado. Laced off the glove of Robles. Walker runs it down. Has no play. It's an infield hit for Prado. It was a bullet that Robles got some leather on.
That would have been an RBI on that. Right down the pipe.
Well, the game in Milwaukee last night ended with a similar play that Jeffers caught, but Robles not able to there.
Well, they're going to check on Robles and make sure he's okay. It certainly appeared it got his glove and nothing else, but you can talk to this, Ronnie. Sometimes when it hits your glove, it can still hurt.
It can bend your wrist back. In spring training, remember Andrew Miller got hit in the wrist, and he's pitching through it, but Robles is tough. And he knows, I mean, he's got to know that his team needs him to pitch as many outs as he can. Yeah, well, just went off the end of his glove.
As I said, I don't care how hard you throw. If you throw it down the middle, major league hitters are going to square it up.
So now every position player in the lineup for the Marlins has at least one hit. And here's Chris Johnson, who hit a long double to center field his last time up. And takes a slider for a strike. Steven Matz started, lasted just an inning and 2/3. Gave up 7 runs on 6 hits. Robles has worked 2 innings in relief, giving up a run on 4 hits. And back-to-back breaking balls to get ahead on Johnson. 0-2.
2 good ones. Looks like Chris Johnson. We noticed in spring training, Gary, that Johnson has kind of made some serious alterations in that swing of his. He had the funkiest swing I've ever seen. One of the funkiest.
He's had a couple of really good years in his career, one in Houston and one in Atlanta. But he has not been able to be consistent in his production, and now he's started to bounce around.
Well, when you haven't made a start against anyone because there hasn't been any left-handers, you're fighting for some at-bats. Paying a little more attention.
Well, the 2 Mets pitchers in this game, Matz and Robles, have now thrown over 100 pitches. And we're in the 4th inning. It's not a good sign.
No.
Now the 2-2 coming. And Johnson grounds one just foul. Ball boy right on top of it.
Played the carom nicely.
Doesn't matter what the score. Ball boy's got to keep his head in the game.
He might have to go up one more size in the helmet. That's just my opinion.
You know, the double flap helmets always look too small.
Little league.
Well,
I'm glad I didn't have to wear that.
But they're protected. It should be that way.
everybody in the minor leagues now has to wear a double flap helmet.
I saw that in the minor leagues this year. All the guys over there, double flap helmet. You could really notice it because the pitchers were hitting over there and they had the one flap helmet, so it really stuck out.
There you go.
As the coaches get to wear the no flap helmets.
It's Lenny Harris. He looks cold.
The all-time pinch hit leader. Set that record while he was with the Mets.
Was he here a long time?
A couple of years.
Yeah.
And that's just off the corner. Robles had 1 foot in the dugout.
Usually the umpires in a game like this will open up the strike zone a little bit.
It's hard now because they get graded on every pitch, no matter what the score.
I just think Baker's a hitter's umpire, Ronnie.
Yeah.
I think he's got a tight zone.
I'd recommend umpiring to the score personally.
Well, I'm with you. Particularly since I'm out of uniform.
And that's inside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. First walk given up by Robles. And Johnson wins a 9-pitch battle that saw Robles get ahead 0-2 and then lose him. Dan Warthen ready for his 32nd chat. SNY Super Slow Motion brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. And I think we've got Antonio Bastardo up in the bullpen. I don't think Antonio, when he signed up here, thought that he was going to be pitching any 4th innings this year. But here he is up in the 4th. And as the clock ticks down on the 30 seconds, which begins as soon as the pitching coach leaves the dugout, which has led to some more animated sprints to the mound.
I thought Dan was staying there a little longer because he was going to give Jordan Baker a little piece of his mind, but he did not. Dan had his knee replaced, so he's off in quick time.
Who do you suppose, if it comes to this tonight, the Mets would use as a position player to pitch?
That's a good question.
Last guy to take the mound for the Mets and non-pitcher was Anthony Recker.
Anthony Recker.
There's JT Realmuto. 2 for 2 already, batting with the bases loaded and 2 out. And he takes a strike. Ozuna at third, Prado at second, Johnson at first.
I know Lucas Duda pitched in college, right? In high school and college. I know high school he definitely did.
Cespedes probably has the best arm.
They might have to make him take the canary yellow off, though.
That's probably right.
Well, doesn't have it tonight.
I would think if the Mets need a position player to pitch, it would be Eric Campbell. Who knows? Maybe Soup is loosening up his arm as we speak.
Well, catchers always throw good BP, you know. They throw from the ear, so you can put Pilecki out there.
I think the key to those decisions, Jose Canseco aside, is usually it's the guys who are down in the pecking order who get the call.
Okay.
I hit a 3-run home run in St. Louis off Tommy Hutton. Came in a blowout game. He tried to sneak a little. He's a left-hander. Tommy, of course. Threw me a 3-2 helicopter. I put it in the seats.
Got to take advantage of her opportunities.
He did me a favor throwing me that little lazy breaking ball.
I remember Matt Franco getting into a game at Shea Stadium and Andrew Jones hitting about 17 miles against him. Best position player I've ever seen pitch for the Mets was Desi Relaford.
Yes.
He said he threw hard.
High heat. 92, 93 miles an hour. Pitched a 1-2-3 inning. Realmuto pops it up. Duda comes down in foul ground and almost runs over Robles as he makes the grab. Duda wasn't slacking off. He came a country mile to get that ball. Robles was about to grab it, and Duda almost pancaked him.
Pitchers, get out of the way.
Leave it to the guy with the big glove. David Wright leading off the home fourth inning. David has the only hit for the Mets tonight. He hit a liner that went off Martin Prado's glove and went for an infield hit in the first. As the Mets offense continues to struggle. Mets came in to the night with a 180 team batting average, last in the major league. Wright, Cespedes, and Duda against Jarred Cozart, who has to be feeling as though the 6 outs that he needs are taking forever. His team keeps taking 20 minutes to bat.
That's right.
Cozart making his season debut. He made 13 starts for the Marlins last year. Went 2-5 with an ERA over 4.5. Plagued by vertigo for a good part of last year.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that by a pitcher. I know they've had it, but I haven't heard of many cases, let's say.
He sat out a couple of months. He came back. He had a recurrence of it. So it really checkered his season. It's something that appears to be a thing of the past now for Cozart. 3-2 now to David. Cozart started out in the Phillies organization. Remember, he was part of the deal that the Phillies, the package Phillies, sent to Houston when they got Hunter Pence.
That's right.
That's 5 years ago now. David drives one to left center field, headed toward the gap, and that'll go back to the wall. Yelich gets it in. David stands at second with a leadoff double. So right now with his 3rd double of the season in the first 6 games.
Hang and slide ball up.
Between innings, Terry Collins talking to Lucas Duda about his mad sprint that nearly leveled Hanser Robles.
He's talking to his infielders here. Except for third base. Now, we were talking in between innings. If I got hurt because a pitcher got in my way on a pop-up that was clearly my ball, I'd be hot. It's like, get out of the way. You got those guys with the gloves out there. Let them make the play.
Is there any defense for Robles in that he was right under the ball?
Well, it was in foul territory too, so you really want to let the catcher or the first baseman make the play.
It doesn't matter one way or the other, Gary.
Cespedes drives one to the left for a base hit. David Wright will be waved home, and the Mets are on the board. Yoenis Cespedes with an RBI single, and the Mets begin the uphill climb. It's now 8-1.
Well, it's become the Wright and Cespedes show the last 2 ball games.
They had all the hits for the Mets last night, and they have all the hits so far tonight.
Right down the middle again and down where Cespedes loves it.
Sometimes as a pitcher you have to learn after a guy takes his first at bat off you. Cespedes hit a ball down, line drive to center field. Another line drive, this one for a base hit.
Here's Duda, and he takes a strike. Well, you know, we were talking the other day about pitching to the score, right? You got an 8-0 lead, which I suppose means that you challenge hitters more. But how do you find that fine line between challenging hitters more and putting it on a tee?
Well, it's too early, so you got to keep pitching, especially early in the count. The only time it alters, Gary, is if it's 3-1, you throw one not down the middle, but you're going to throw a fastball with something on it because of the big lead. That's the only way it changes. I wouldn't change too much in the beginning of the count, but if you do get behind, you have to challenge people. You got 8 gloves behind you.
Yeah, the fastest way to allow a team back from a big deficit is to start walking you. Duda hit a hard ground ball to first that Chris Johnson was able to make the play on his first time up. Mets have had their share of hard hit balls in this game, and now finally getting something to show for it. And now it's 3-1 to Duda. So here's that spot you're talking about.
Well, he cuts every fastball that he throws. So what he's trying to do, he's got to account for that movement. And sometimes it doesn't move. And that's why he's missing on the outside corner, off the outside corner.
And Lucas grounds one foul. 3-2.
He broke his bat on that. A little quick by Lucas.
Time for our Toyota tweet of the game. Send it to #SNYTweet. We want to know, do you think Barry Bonds will ever be elected into the Hall of Fame? More home runs than anybody in the history of the game. And the rub for me with Barry always is, even before he started using performance-enhancing drugs, he was already a Hall of Fame.
I played against him, I know.
Duda rips one into right field for the Mets' 3rd straight hit. Cespedes will go first to third, and the Mets have runners at the corners with nobody out. So somebody other than Wright and Cespedes chips in.
Well, just a cutter up in the strike zone, and Duda jumps all over it. Gordon not back in that little rover position, so that ball dropped in nicely. A nice job by Cespedes going first to third.
Juan Nieves, the new Marlins pitching coach, out to talk to Cozart, who all of a sudden has given up 3 bullets, a double and 2 singles. A run is in, first and third, and nobody out. Juan Nieves, who went to high school in Connecticut.
That's right, Avon Olive Farms.
They usually produce hockey players, don't they?
That's right.
Didn't Brian Leach go?
Brian Leach went there. Threw a no-hitter for the Milwaukee Brewers. Robin Yount with that diving catch in center field for the last out.
Brian Leach didn't.
No,
Juan Nieves
did. Brian Leach could probably do anything.
Probably could. Neil Walker struck out his first time up, and he takes the curveball high from Cozart. Well, if you're Don Mattingly, how many more hits does it take to start getting your bullpen going? You've got a 7-run lead in the 4th inning. And Cozart all of a sudden is getting tattooed. There's a strike, 1-1. By the way, we were talking about Barry Bonds and his chances for the Hall of Fame. 762 home runs, but only one against Ron Darling.
Oh, jeez. You know what home run that was? That was the second in his major league career.
Right? So he had 760 more and never got you again.
Craig McMurtry gave up his first home run, and I was so happy to be a second because McMurtry was all over the TV when Barry hit his.
Getting his milestone.
Yes.
Yeah. So they left you alone.
Yes. Thank you very much.
1-2 to Walker with Conforto on deck. Cespedes at third, Duda at first, and nobody out. And Walker chases the changeup, and there's the first out of the inning.
Well, didn't start as strike. Just the change of pace fold. Walker.
So that's 3 strikeouts for Cozart. He was able to steady things after the mound visit. And now Michael Conforto.
This is where you're looking for one of your hitters to go deep and make it real interesting.
Cespedes at third, Duda at first, and 1 out. One thing about Cozart, watching him last year, his control was not particularly good.
Nice block.
Muto keeps it in front of him and keeps Cespedes at third.
Well, you can see it. If he gets ahead, he can secondary pitches. He can throw for balls, but we've not seen him establish any of those secondary pitches for strikes. This one bounces in front of the plate. Nice play by Real Muto.
Yes, excellent.
He's going to be a good catcher. He already is a good catcher.
Very athletic catcher. As a quarterback in high school back in Oklahoma. Antonio Bastardo up in the Mets bullpen again. And that one skips away from Real Muto, and Cespedes comes in to score. Duda takes a turn. He's going to try for third, and he's going to make it easily. So on the wild pitch, Cespedes comes home, and Duda goes first to third.
Well,
we just talked about how good he was, and then he ends up trying to backhand the ball.
Yep, not the footwork there that time, and the Mets are inching closer.
So now it's 8-2, runner at third and 1 out. And it's well inside to Conforto, 3-1. I'm not sure since the Mets moved to Citi Field that we've ever seen anybody take 2 bases on a wild pitch. It's so close from the home plate to the backstop. It's almost impossible to do.
Good hustle by Lucas. Didn't take anything for granted. Well done.
3-2 now to Conforto with the shift on against him. And that's wide ball.
Jeez.
Second walk given up by Cozart. And the Mets' hopes begin to brighten even more.
Now it's getting to the point as a manager. You know, you want to get your pitcher a W. And you know what? You got to earn that W.
Yeah, 5 outs away.
And that gets some activity up in that Marlin bullpen now.
And remember, it's Cozart's first start of the year, so they're not likely to let him go much past 90 pitches. Yeah. So he may not get a chance for a win unless he settles in right now. Here's Cabrera, who struck out his first time up. Duda at third, Conforto at first, 2 runs home in the inning. Cabrera goes after a high one, fouls it back, 0-1. And we see on the Avis on the phone, we may get some action momentarily in that Marlins bullpen.
You do not want to let this one slip away.
Only once in their history have the Mets ever come from 8 runs down to win a game. Cabrera gets tied up.
Well, Cozart, if he gets consistent with that cutter, but when you're throwing 90% cutter, you're going to make mistakes, Ron.
You can also look in once in a while if you want to, as a left-handed hitter.
Cozart hit 0-2 on Cabrera. And as Struble lays off the curveball. 1972, September 2nd. That's where in Houston they were 8 runs down and came back to win 11-8. It's the only time in their history they've ever done that.
They've ever come from behind, 8 from behind at home? Never, right?
7,
right?
But not 8. 1-2 to Asdrubal, and that curveball bends low.
What's he going to do? He got a fastball?
Well, Chris Narveson, the left-hander, will begin to loosen in the Marlins bullpen. Boy, you got to be kicking yourself if you're Cozart.
Well,
8-0 lead. Double, 2 singles and a walk here in the 4th inning. It produced 2 runs. And another ball. He was ahead 0-2, 3 straight curves, and now it's a full count. With Travis d'Arnaud waiting on deck.
Now his best pitch is his cutter, so if you're Cabrera, you got to think you're going to get something middle of the plate in.
What are you doing for your pitching coach, Ron?
Getting gray hair. High cholesterol.
Slowly hit. Johnson will go to second with it. Gets the force there. No return as a run comes home. 3 runs now home in the inning, and the Mets have pulled to within 8-3.
Now Johnson is a third baseman by trade. Ball questionably hit hard enough for 2, maybe not. Easy play at home plate, Garrett. Easy play to get Duda.
Even with a 6-run lead, you want to come home?
If you're not sure you can turn 2, let's see what Lucas does here. He's coming all the way, and you're not sure you can get 2. He's dead to rights. And I'm not being picky.
So now it's 8-3. Cabrera at first with 2 out, and here's d'Arnaud, and he takes that one in the dirt. Stopped better that time by Real Muto.
So, you know, it's a situation where Chris Johnson is not a first baseman by trade. So that's how important your defense is so much overlooked.
I don't know, first baseman throwing home for tag plays in this ballpark don't always work out well. d'Arnaud walked his first time up. And the curveball in for a strike, 1-1.
Stayed with it.
Alejandro De Aza is out on deck. De Aza set to bat for Robles. If d'Arnaud can keep the inning going. It's fouled off. By the way, it's Alejandro De Aza's 32nd birthday today. So happy birthday, Alejandro.
Well, the Mets are back in this, believe it or not, and if they can get some middle relief, just keep chipping away, they get back in this ball game.
And use the whole bullpen if they had to have a chance to win this game. 1-2 to d'Arnaud, and he hits it right at the second baseman Gordon, and the Gold Glover handles it to end the inning. But the Mets scratch back with 3 runs. David Wright starting the whole thing with a double. It's 8-3 after 4. dealers who invite you to test drive a new Ford. You'll discover why Ford is the total package. Your Ford fifth inning recap. The Marlins putting up a 7 spot, knocking out Steven Matz in the second inning. Giancarlo Stanton capping it with a 2-run homer. Mets fighting back with 3 runs against Jared Cozart in the 4th. And it's 8-3 Miami as we go to the 5th. Mets make a double switch. Wilmer Flores will come into play shortstop. He'll bat 9th. And the new pitcher Antonio Bastardo will go in the 7th hole.
Well, Bastardo has been really impressive since spring training. He had a hard time, was not throwing hard, but he's turned it up a notch. In the Philadelphia series, he's throwing 92 and 93 miles an hour.
Worked both Friday and Saturday in that series, a scoreless inning each time. Well, for the first time since last August, we are fortunate to have our Emmy Award-winning director Bill Webb back in the truck. And we are thrilled that Webby is back with us.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Let me think of.
It's been a long road for Webby. Had to battle some medical issues, but he looks great.
Yeah.
He's as feisty as ever. He's providing great pictures like he always does. And, you know, the man has more Emmys than anybody in the history of the world.
That's right.
But he loves his job. And he must like us a little bit to come back and work with us.
I don't really think it's that, Gary, to tell you the truth. Directing shots and mispronouncing names for 3 hours every night.
Well,
he's flipping coins back there. I know his whole career flipping coins on which camera to call.
And Danny Echeverria leading off against Bastardo. Echeverria has already driven in 3 runs tonight with a single and a sacrifice fly. You ever sit in the truck with Webby and watch him?
Yes, I have.
It's amazing.
They had a commercial a long time ago of the camera behind Bill in the middle of a game calling all the. I thought it was one of the best commercials. I mean, talk about multitasking. It's an art.
It is. I don't know how he does it. Especially when he gets into the World Series and he's got, what, 50, 60 cameras. How do you possibly decide? Well, in a split second. Well, Bastardo strikes out Echeverria for the first time.
Best way for all of us, little slider here from Bastardo, to stay humble in this booth is that everyone can do our job. We can't do anyone else's job.
That's absolutely true. So 1 out in the top of the 5th, and now Jared Cozart, who had sacrificed and then failed to sacrifice, 0 for 1. Have we ever seen a matchup of 2 59s in a regular season game? 59 Bastardo throwing to 59 Cozart.
You'll see it in spring training. You know, it's interesting, and a lot of this has to do with a veteran pitcher coming over to a new staff, but watching Travis d'Arnaud catching Bastardo, he's getting into an unusual low position, and that's usually comes from the pitcher, that I want to target as low as you can bring it, or as low as you can drop it.
It's interesting. Does any of that have to do with the fact that Bastardo is not as tall as most pitchers?
No, it's just that the only way for him to be successful is to have the ball down, and he knows that.
He's ahead on Cozart 1-2. Hansel Robles with 2 1/3 in relief, allowed a run on 4 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Incredible job by Robles to serve as the long man, which is not generally his role. But again, the Mets hard pressed because Logan Verrett, who would normally be their long man, is scheduled to start on Wednesday in place of Jacob deGrom, whom the Mets have not replaced on the roster. I wonder tomorrow whether that will change. Given the fact that the Mets are going to have to run through a good chunk of their bullpen tonight.
Well, I think that you might see guys going inning to inning now, even though they made the double switch, so they might want 2 innings out of Bastardo. But that means that Robles and Bastardo will probably out for tomorrow's game.
Back to Bastardo, plenty of time to recover, and throws out the jogging Kozar for the second out.
One thing about these blowouts, Gary, when a team is chipping away and trying to get back in it, the one negative is when you're the team in front, you just tack on a couple more runs and it knocks the steam out of the other team.
That's right.
But if the Mets continue to get good relief pitching and get a run here and a run there, all of a sudden you wind up using your frontline relievers in the late innings. In fact, both teams might by the time this is over. Here's D. Gordon up for the 4th time. 1 for 3, an infield hit, stole a base, drove in a run, and scored a run in the second. Wright comes in on the grass at third, but due to playing back at first, I would think you would always play in against Gordon.
Especially with a left-handed pitcher. He follows through to the third base side. He could bunt and bring it with him.
Understand if it was a 10-0 game, you would take away the bunt, but 8-3 in the 5th inning.
No, it's a run that's part of the game. It's part of D. Gordon's game also.
$205 hits last year.
Serious.
That's hard to do.
He had a guy on his own team last year who had 60 more hits in a season, right? Ichiro?
Well, that's the all-time record. He broke George Sisler's old mark when he was with Seattle. It's going to be hard for Ichiro to get enough at bats to get to 3,000 hits this year, the way the Marlins are configured, unless somebody gets hurt, which is what happened last year. He played a lot because Stanton got hurt.
How many hits does he need? A little over 100. Sorry, I should be like a lawyer there. You can't ask a question you don't know.
Needed 65 when the year began.
Okay.
I don't think he has a hit yet this year. Ichiro is 0 for 1.
No, I got the umpire bicep, I think.
Gordon Baker taking the hit.
That'll teach you to have a tight strike zone. You can see where it got him. The bicep. That hurts. That hurts.
No protection there for the umpire?
Nope. Got him.
The shoulder pads don't come down that low. By the way, you see the umpires are wearing an EA patch on their left sleeve today. That is in honor of Emmett Ashford, who 50 years ago today became the first African-American umpire. He umpired his first game in the American League April 11th, 1966.
American League umpire. I remember Emmett Ashford had a little panache, a little style.
Nicely done, umpires.
Gordon hits one past the mound. Walker has to hurry with it and gets him by half a stride to end the inning. So Bastardo comes in and throws a 1-2-3 top of the 5th. We're halfway through. 8-3 Miami. John Hine will have to say about tonight's Mets-Marlins opener as they take on all the latest in New York sports and each other on Loudmouths, presented by Cheapo Air. Tomorrow at 5:30, only on SNY. Wilmer Flores came into the double switch in the last half inning. He'll get his first turn at bat against Jared Cozart, leading off the bottom of the fifth. Wilmer struck out as a pinch hitter yesterday after getting a start on Saturday. Looking for his first hit of the season.
Well, let's see what Cozart can do this inning. He needs 3 outs for become a pitcher of record.
Grounded toward the hole. Gordon runs it down, and it goes under his glove. He was there, and the Gold Glove second baseman could not secure it. And Flores is aboard.
This is what happens when you play deep. And he didn't get the glove down, but I think the cut of the grass may have had him worried. Just didn't quite get there. I do not like playing in the outfield grass. I want nothing to do with that cut on the where the outfield starts.
Well, you have to worry about the ball coming off the lip.
You could take a bad hop. That didn't happen then.
And they will charge an error to D. Gordon. So the Mets have the leadoff man on for Granderson. And that will make the test for Cozart that much more difficult. Cozart threw 34 pitches to get through the 4th inning when he gave up 3 runs.
He earned all those 34.
Now at 87 pitches for the night, and the Marlins have the bullpen working with Chris Narveson up. Granderson 0 for 2 tonight, 1 for 22 to start the year. And that one trickles away from Real Muto, and down to second goes Flores.
Well, the Marlins are just not playing well. I mean, the Mets fell behind this game because they just got pounded, but the Marlins are playing terrible.
Well, the second wild pitch charged to Real Muto, and the second one he has not looked good on.
They're doing everything they can in their power to let the Mets come back into this game.
Anderson late on the fastball. 1-2. Tonight's starters brought to you by People's United Bank. A forgettable first outing of the year for Steven Matz. By far his worst to date in the major leagues. Cozart just trying to hang on after a good beginning. 2-2 to Granderson with David Wright on deck. There's Chris Narveson, who was up in the last inning and up again in the Marlins bullpen.
Stevens' next start will probably come Sunday in Cleveland.
That's a long 6 days away.
Yes, it is.
2-2 from Cozart, and he misses up and away in a full count.
Jeez. He might not make it. Doesn't deserve to make it if he loses Granderson.
You know, first start of the year, a lot of teams will hold their pitchers to 90, and he's already at 91 with nobody out. Flores at second, and Granderson hits one back to Cozart. He's got the runner hung up, and the tag is made by Prado, and Granderson able to advance to second base. So Flores gotten the run down and stayed there long enough to enable the Mets to get the runner back to second.
Well, Wilmer fortunate that Echeverria fell down. Otherwise, Granderson would not have been able to advance to second base.
No, that ball almost was thrown into center field.
Yes. So Cozart is doing everything. So good hustle and heads up by Granderson.
1-6-5 on the fielder's choice for the first out.
That's a play if you young people get that in the game. If you don't feel like it's an automatic out and there's too many moving parts, just punt on that. Get the out at first base.
The 5-run lead especially.
Yeah.
So now David is 2 for 2. In fact, if you go back to yesterday, David has 4 hits in his last 4 at-bats. A single and a double today. Granderson at second and 1 out. And the curveball down to right, ball 1.
Well, we've seen as an observant hitter here, ex-hitter, Cozart cannot get his curveball over. He's thrown all of his curveballs in the dirt. So whenever you see the tumbling spin of a curveball, it's going to be in the dirt. He's basically a two-pitch pitcher, fastball cutter, an occasional changeup.
Can't really throw that for strikes either.
So you're saying if you see a curveball, expect a rate.
Yes. What does that mean?
Bet on it.
I wanted to get that out of you.
Very nice. 2-0 to David. And that cutter misses inside. 3-0. Cespedes on deck. Nets were down 8-0. Fought back with 3 in the 4th and trying to work something here in the 5th. Granderson at second and 1 out. And there's ball 4.
Adios.
Third walk given up by Cozart, and how much further will Mattingly go? Maybe one more batter for us, but it's going to go with lefty ready for duty.
Yep.
You know, sometimes though you want to stay another batter because you have the righty-righty matchup. But really, Cespedes has hit 2 balls on the nose against Cozart.
Why wouldn't you have a lefty and a righty up?
Well,
you know, as I tell you what, Captain Hook.
So now 2 aboard. Cespedes hit a bullet to center that was caught, and then had a base hit to left center that drove in a run, and then he scored in the 4th.
Pretty much straight up all the way around.
Granderson at second, right at first, and 1 out. And Cespedes takes a strike.
Interesting. Cespedes early in the season has been taking a lot of first pitches, Ron.
Changeup misses. 1-1.
Nope.
Interesting. A little warmer night. You can almost see the bearing down of Cespedes. It's almost palpable.
Hit a home run yesterday off a changeup on a right-hander, and he threw him a changeup.
Oh, another changeup, and it's 2-1. Last year, Cozart made 13 starts for the Marlins. Only once did he throw this many pitches. Threw 105 in a game against the Nationals last September. Never threw more than 93 in any other start. And here is his first start of the year, about to throw his 100th pitch.
Maybe the only way he can get a win is to get a double play.
2-1 coming. It's rolled deep but foul. That one went just to the left of the Asula Club.
See, this is what's amazing to me, because I'm fed this all the time that everyone has so many notes, so many numbers. They have everything you need to face a hitter. Hellickson threw a changeup. What did Cespedes do with it yesterday? Hit a 2-run home run. That's the 3rd changeup in a row from a right-hander to the right-handed hitter. Doesn't make any sense to me. Don't get it.
Now, Cozart gave up a home run to Cespedes last year. Maybe that is informing his choices here. 2 out, 1 out, 2 on, and it's lined off by Gordon, and everybody gets back. So another bullet off the bat of Cespedes, and there are 2 out in the inning.
Well, that's a very good sign for Cespedes. Drive that ball to that opposite field gap. Something they wanted to do with him all spring. He hasn't been doing it this season. He's been pulling. That's the first ball he drove the opposite field.
Cozart is not going to get a chance for a win. Don Mattingly's on his way out to the mound. He's got the left-hander Narveson ready to go, and with Cozart up over 100 pitches, even though he's just 1 out shy of qualifying for a win, he'll exit. Not happy about it, but got to understand that.
I don't think he understands.
I don't. Truth.
Well,
he deserved that. He doesn't deserve the W.
You throw 101 pitches in 4 2/3. It's hard to argue with your manager. Cozart exits. Narveson coming in. 8-3 Miami. We'll be right back. 2 of this series. 2 of the best young pitchers in the game. Noah Syndergaard and Jose Fernandez hook up. Mets and Marlins. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6 right here on SNY. Kevin Long, Lucas Duda talking about the new Miami pitcher Chris Narveson and what Duda might expect.
Doesn't throw hard, sinks the fastball, will cut it occasionally. Big curveball.
How many times have you faced him, Lucas?
1 for 4 against him.
Okay, well, you've seen him.
Narveson, former starter in Milwaukee, now 34 years old, comes in with 2 out and 2 on with his team up by 5. Duda had a base hit to right field and scored a run in the 4th. 1 for 2 on the day. An error and a walk will put 2 men on for the Mets here in the 5th. Cozart exits after 4 2/3. Robinson sinks it low, 2-0. Granderson at second, Wright at first. Last year, Duda hit 7 of his 27 home runs against left-hand pitchers. And the cutter misses wide, and now it's 3-0.
Bringing a control pitcher, he proceeds to throw 3 straight balls.
Switch hitter Neil Walker on deck.
It's being too Larry Fine.
That's a strike. I think a relief pitcher would be better known as Shemp. The replacement.
But it was Shemp Howard.
Duda with a 3-1 advantage. And he takes a cutter for a strike, and it's 3-2. So now Granderson and Wright will be in motion with 3-2 and 2 down.
Lucas has seen everything away. You have to anticipate that's where this pitch is going to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Lucas flares one foul.
That's a good swing. Just a little up that pitch.
Wants it away. Came inside. Oh boy, a little flat upstairs helicopter.
Narveson's 3rd appearance of the season. He's been beat up so far. 4 runs in 2 innings. 3-2 again. Ripped. Foul. Duda's already hit 2 balls hard in this game. A shot that Johnson was able to field right near the bag in the 1st, and then that hard base hit to right in the 4th.
Pitch to throw that they've been throwing Lucas so far early in the season is that fastball inside on the 3-2 count, but I don't know if Narveson, if that's in part of his repertoire.
8th pitch of the at bat coming from Narveson to Duda, and he struck him out. Side retired. Narveson comes in to strike out Duda and keep the Mets off the board in the 5th. Mets strand a pair after 5. 8-3 Miami. Our Toyota tweet of the game, we asked, do you think Barry Bonds will ever be elected into the Hall of Fame? Let's get a sampling of your answers. Is a Hall of Famer. Most feared hitter of his generation. So that's 1 vote in favor. 2 votes in favor. Marcell Ozuna leads off in the 6th inning. And let's get a couple more. Barry should not make the Hall of Fame. There should be a special section. Kind of like the side hall.
I've been told that quite a bit. That's by a lot of ex-players.
That there should be a separate hall?
Well, not a separate hall, but a section.
Really?
I mean, it's just a few players have told me that he's got Hall of Fame numbers before he did it, but there should be a special designation for those that were caught, if they're going to let him in.
So Bonds, Clemens.
Should be which is an interesting thought. Just throw it out there.
Ozuna flies one down the line toward the corner. Granderson looking up, and it's out of here.
Wow.
Ozuna keeping it fair down the right field line for his first home run of the year. And the Marlins stretch their lead to 9-3.
That'll get Barry smiling. A little off-speed home run. I bet you he's been working on Ozuna going to the opposite field.
Is that tack-on run you were talking about, Dave?
One.
That's impressive.
On an 0-2 pitch from Bastardo, Ozuna takes one just inside the right field foul pole. Second home run of the night for the Marlins. And now Christian Yelich takes a slider for a strike.
I mean, that pitch is pretty much on the outside corner. Not a bad pitch.
Good hitting. Good level swing. You see, he got under it and it carried it out.
He's a strong kid.
Yep.
Anytime it's an opposite field home run, it's always that went out quite a ways too, around 10-15 feet. So that's well struck.
Yelich is 2 for 3 on the day. He's driven in a pair of runs.
So they had a batting champion last year in Gordon. I think Yelich could be a batting champion in the future. Because he'll walk 100 times during the season.
He may not get as many infield hits as Gordon, but he'll get some. And he's probably ready to go to the post. You might take them in the daily double. Maybe an exacta, Gordon and Yelich. Bastardo strikes him out with a slider, and there's the second strikeout for Bastardo in relief. One away in the 6th.
It's almost like he took a little bit off this pitch, so Yelich was out in front.
Now it's Stanton, who put a cap on a 7-run second inning with a laser beam of a home run back against Steven Matz, his second of the year. So let's see, last year Stanton had 279 at bats and 27 home runs. He's got 20 at bats this year and 2 home runs, right on the same pace.
Yeah.
He hit a home run every 10 at bats. That's Hall of Fame territory.
Yeah, if he's healthy, he hits 50.
And that, of course, is the key. Never really has been able to stick around for a full season. Had the facial injury 2 years ago, the hand injury last year.
He had some hamstring and leg injuries early in his career. Bat looks like a toothpick in his hands.
Bastardo behind him 2-0 and 3-0. Martin Prado waits on deck, lead pipe in hand. I love the guys who swung the lead pipe.
Willie Stargell did, right?
Pirates had that that can't think of the right term, sledgehammer. That miniature sledgehammer. They had literally had a sledgehammer. Dave Parker would, all 6'6" of him, 6'5", and Stargell would have that darn thing. They didn't want to get in a fight with them.
No, I mean, Dave Parker was the scariest guy in the game back when you guys were playing.
He was the best player I ever played against.
Really?
Yes. Of my generation. Now, Joe Morgan's before me, because Morgan came up in the early 60s. Morgan was one of the greatest players I ever competed against, but he was a little ahead of me, more than a little ahead of me.
Here's ball 4 to Stanton. Well, Parker could do everything. He could hit. He could hit for power. He could throw. He could run.
So could Morgan.
Yeah.
Morgan hit 30 home runs.
Well, the difference is Dave Parker was 6'5", 240, and Morgan was 5'8".
Yeah. Dave Parker was a 5-tool player that had everything going, and there was no better player that I ever, of my age group, that no one was better than him. Dave Winfield ranks up there too. Both were 5-tool players.
Here's Prado. Has a walk and an infield hit, 1 for 2. Changeup misses from Bastardo. But you, Ronnie, think the same way, or is there somebody else who sticks out in your mind from that era?
Wow. Those guys are a little bit before me.
Yeah, Morgan.
I mean, Morgan way before me, but Parkway is about 5 years before me.
Well, he was with the Reds, and then he still had good years, but he was not the player he was with the Pirates then.
Of course, Ronnie, you also faced all those American League stars in the 90s.
That's right.
The Molitors and guys like that. Prado moving his feet.
What year did you retire?
95.
So it was before Bonds took off.
Yeah,
Bonds came up and had some good years, but he hadn't taken off.
I would have to say Bonds was probably the best young player I played against.
And he came up in what, 86, 87?
86.
Yeah. Bastardo behind, 2-0 for a second straight hitter. And Prado laces one into center field for his second hit of the night. Stanton pulls in at second. So after a 1-2-3 fifth inning, things not going quite as easily for Bastardo in the 6th.
Short stroke of Prado. Can't throw it down the middle.
It's interesting to watch Bastardo. He's made for 1 inning. So when you push him to the 2nd inning, you see him throw him a lot of sliders, a lot of changeups. That's not where his strength is.
Last year for the Pirates, 6 times he went more than an inning. He's never gone more than 2 innings since 2009. Here's Chris Johnson, who's been on base 3 straight times with 2 walks and a double. He's scored 2 runs. Johnson flares one to right. Granderson will have to play it on a hop. Turning third is Stanton. He'll hold up there. And as Granderson gets the throw in on a hop to the plate.
Goodness gracious.
And the Marlins have the bases loaded. Chris Johnson on base for the 4th straight time.
A 2 pair. No, two walks and a double and a single. Sorry. And a lot of times you watch hitters hit the ball the other way.
That is the first third base coach, sorry to interrupt, that ever held a runner up with a Granderson in right field. I just find this so hard to believe.
I would think with a big lead and Giancarlo Stanton and his injury history that they will not take any chances with him being involved.
Probably in the back of their minds, yes.
It's like running a pitcher, right?
Right. I mean, he's the meal ticket.
And he's got those piano wire hamstrings.
So bases loaded for Real Muto, and time called for very late. Real Muto 2 for 3. 2 singles. He scored a run. Marlins now with 13 hits on the night. They are in the 6th inning with 1 out, and that was the 145th pitch thrown by a Met tonight. Madison Reed, only the 8th inning guy, up in the 6th. Everything's been knocked sideways tonight by the short outing of Steven Matz, combined with the fact the Mets are 1 short of the bullpen.
You'd like to keep Jerry Reese Familia out of the game if you could. He's come down with a flu bug, not feeling well the last couple of days.
Well, normally you have 7 relievers. Tonight the Mets have 6. So if you take Familia out of play, that's 5, which makes you understand why Robles and Bastardo have been pushed tonight. Robles went 2 1/3, allowed a run on 4 hits. Bastardo has worked an inning and a third so far, allowed a run on 3 hits. These are never easy nights for the manager and the pitching coach. Just try to get through the game and get to tomorrow.
Well, here's a chance to put this game away.
1-2 from Bastardo, and Real Muto chases one and fouls it off.
I just always find it very interesting that we're so concerned about starting pitchers' pitch count, but relief pitchers who are made to throw 15 to 20, you don't really have as much concern for them when you push them twice past their limit.
You know why? They're fungible.
You love that word. They are.
One-two to Real Muto. That's down, and Darno stops it. 2-2.
Real Muto choking up an inch. You wonder if Barry Bonds has had an influence with this club. Hitting coach Barry Bonds, of course, something I've never understood. You emulate all the great hitters, and Barry Bonds, a power hitter, choked up a good 1.5 inches every at bat.
Why did nobody copy him? It's really hard to believe. It was hard to believe then. It's harder to believe now. The Marlins have gotten off to a fast offensive start this year. With their performance tonight, among the 8 position players in the lineup, only one, Marcelo Zuna, is hitting under 300. 2-2 coming, and Real Muto, it's a slow ground ball. Flores will have to go to first with it. Low throw, and Duda able to snag it, and they get the out at first.
No,
Anton comes home.
It's not going to happen.
We'll see if the Marlins challenge that.
Oh my goodness! How can you blow this call? He didn't make that.
He bobbled it.
Come on, it's terrible. Who's the first base umpire? Tim Timmons?
Timmons.
You can't be in a position to be blocked.
Marlins had a successful challenge of an out call at first base earlier in the game, and you're right, he certainly did not catch that ball cleanly. And this is one that should not require replay. This should only require the umpires consulting with one another, and that's what they're going to do.
See, Tim Timmons is watching the bag and the foot and wasn't looking at the glove and saw the bobble. That's why he missed the call.
And it should be easy for one of the other umpires to overrule this call. And they do.
Yes. Now.
So a run is in. It's now 10-3, and we'll wait to see how they score that.
But Terry's out there.
He wants to know why Mattingly wasn't forced to use his challenge, but this is one of those cases where you should not need replay, because the other umpires on the field could clearly see that the ball was not handled cleanly.
Now see, Lucas, his right hand, he could have used 2 hands on that scoop. And you see how he used the one hand, and it comes up in the heel of your glove. and I'm going to give a little instruction, is that a scoop like that comes up on your heel and you're in front like this, I always kept my hand right here. So the ball came up, hits my heel, I got my hand right here to clamp it down. I've done that so many times, and Lucas went out with the one hand. It's got to get in the glove.
So even if the ball is not in your glove and you kind of cradle it in your glove,
yeah,
it's still an out.
It's still an out. You're making the catch.
You're like a vice grip. It'll be a base hit for Real Muto, his third of the night. The Stardo out, Reed coming in. We'll be right back to Citi Field. Double switch for the Mets. Eric Campbell comes in to play first base. He'll hit seventh where the pitcher was, and Addison Reed will go in the 4-hole.
Well, everyone who's used to pitching later in the game, with all hands on deck now, with Matz only going into the second inning.
So Robles went 2 1/3. Antonio Bastardo went an inning and a third, and now it's Reed with the bases loaded and 1 out to face Echeverria, who's already driven in 3 runs, and he's got Prado at third, Johnson at second, and Real Muto at first. Marlins now with 10 runs and 14 hits. Reed pitched yesterday, gave up a run and 2 hits in the 8th inning against the Phillies. In fact, that was the first run allowed by the Mets bullpen this season. There have been more tonight.
Well, this game notwithstanding, there have been a lot of crooked numbers in baseball so far, right? 16s and 13s.
Well, you've had great juxtapositions. You had the Padres shut out in the first 2 games of the season, then they scored 29 runs in the next 2.
Yeah, Cardinals with 10 tonight.
Here's the good fastball from Reed, 1-2. It's like Colin McHugh is faring better tonight than he did in his first start. Got knocked out in the first inning. Today he's got 5 scoreless against Kansas City. 6-0 Houston. As a kid, I don't know about you, I always root for him.
Yes.
Former Met, just a great kid. Skips into Echeverria, 2-2.
What did he do? Strike 8 or 9 Rockies out here in his debut.
He had a great 7 scoreless, I think it was, that first time out. Didn't go well for him here after that. Then the Mets traded him for Eric Young, right?
Yes, to Colorado.
Chris Narveson is out on deck. He's a pretty good hitting pitcher. Echeverria pokes one foul. Steven Matz lasted just an inning and 2/3, gave up 7 runs and 6 hits. Hansel Robles 2 1/3, 1 run, 4 hits. The start of an inning in the third. 4 hits and 2 runs so far, and responsible for 3 more. One of those nights. Pop foul off to the right, and that goes out of play. And you figured coming into the season that the Mets pitching staff wouldn't have too many of these nights, but you know, as Terry Collins said the other day, there are no guarantees in this game.
But it's like a catch-22 or Murphy's Law. You know what's going to happen on the night you can't afford it to happen, right?
It's like putting a fielder in a place where he doesn't belong and the ball finds him.
There you go.
You're not going to get 32 starts from your 5 pitchers that are going to be quality.
Reed fans Echeverria with a high fastball, and that's the second out of the inning.
I like how he elevated this fastball and threw it right by Echeverria. Right-handed hitter is not a real issue for Reed. It's the left-handed hitter.
Well, he'll get a left-hand hitter here, albeit a pitcher, but Narveson, a lifetime .216 hitter, and in 116 career at bats has 13 RBIs. So he is a threat. Bases loaded, 2 out. Narveson, of course, was a starting pitcher earlier in his career with Milwaukee and had some mixed success. Prado, Johnson, and Real Muto are the base runners. 2 runs home from Miami here in the 6th to stretch their lead back to 10-3. And knee-high strike, 0-2.
Some good hitting pitchers there in Milwaukee when he was there. 2010, 2011 were his best years. Giovanni Gallardo was outstanding.
Yeah, it's a shame to have Gallardo in a spot where he can't bat.
Yeah.
It would be like Madison Bumgarner going to the American League. Couldn't have that.
What's he got? 2 career home runs off Kershaw. Amazing.
And he faces him again on Friday.
He does.
Since the beginning of last year, only one other hitter has 2 home runs against Kershaw, but it doesn't count because one of them was in the postseason for Daniel Murphy.
That's right.
Murphy, by the way, has a home run tonight for the Nats. They beat Atlanta 6-4 in the 8th.
Whenever you get traded and you go to a new team, Murph's going to have himself a good year.
Well, he's certainly off to a great start. Last I checked, he was 8 for 15 with a couple of home runs to begin his Nationals career.
Is that rivalry the best in baseball right now? Dodgers Giants?
Well, Cardinals Cubs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now that the Cubs are good. Keith can speak to that rivalry. Those people take it seriously even when the teams stink.
There were nothing in those early in those 70s, mid 70s when I came up. There were Donnybrooks in the stands.
I mean, you've got that dividing line somewhere in
Peoria,
middle of Illinois.
Right, it's Peoria, right smack dead center. North of Peoria, which is a great town, by the way, is Cubtown, Cubland, and south is Cardinal country.
7th pitch of the at bat from Reed to Narveson, and he misses, ball 3. And you got the pitcher at the plate, bases loaded, lopsided game. Time to groove one. By the way, you see the home run Jake Arrieta hit last night?
Yeah, bomb.
440 feet in Arizona.
You see what his quote was? It was like a hit of fastball. Nothing else.
Narveson strikes out, so Reed comes in and settles things down with back-to-back strikeouts to end the top of the 6th. But the Marlins tack on 2 and lead 10-3. David Wright has hits in each of his last 4 official at bats. Yoenis Cespedes and Asdrubal Cabrera each with RBIs tonight. But the Mets down by 7 as they come to bat in the bottom of the 6th.
Jay and Ethan.
Jay Horwitz and his lieutenant Ethan Wilson manning the store in the Mets media relations department.
Is the window closed? Are they telling me that the window is closed?
Oh yeah, it's been closed since opening day.
Come on. Oh, by the way,
writers don't open the press box windows till maybe June.
What?
Yeah.
By the way, it just came to my attention. I didn't have Sunday's game. That was my off day for me. I worked Sunday's game.
You were here. I can attest to that.
Greg Picker just told me, and I looked at my schedule, and I worked a game I shouldn't have worked. I could have been with my daughter yesterday, who was here in town. And Kurt, you owe me. Owe me one.
That might
you might have to take that one for the team.
That might be an arbitration eligible one. To chalk that up to announcer error. Neil Walker batting right-handed against Chris Narveson. He's had 2 at-bats from the right side so far this year. 1 for 2.
There are a lot of things that could happen in this booth. You doing a game you weren't supposed to do, I didn't think was going to be one of them.
That is a major, shows signs of aging.
I thought you could read a calendar. Walker hits it out to center, chasing Ozuna back. He gets turned around, finds it, and makes the catch. Nice play, Marcell Ozuna, for a long first out.
Ozuna can play the outfield. They got a nice outfield. Yelich in left is probably the least. Ozuna is probably not a real center fielder, but Stanton and Ozuna have 2 of the strongest arms in the National League as far as the outfield is concerned.
Yelich won a Gold Glove 2 years ago.
That's right.
Here's Conforto, who's hit a comebacker and walked 0 for 1. In Chicago tonight, Brandon Finnegan for the Cincinnati Reds has a no-hitter going with 2 out in the 6th against the Cubs. Now he's closing in on 90 pitches in the 6th inning. So
Stripling.
No, look at those poor Braves.
popped up. He's going to get it. Prado, and he's on the mound, and Echeverria can't make the catch. And safe at first is Conforto. Prado was looking for it, but didn't seem to want to have much to do with it. And Echeverria came in at the last moment to take charge, but unable to make the play.
That is all right. They got the shift on, which makes it difficult. It's Prado's ball.
I mean, he keeps looking like he wants somebody else to bail him out. And didn't work out that way.
Is Major put a tent over that circus.
Lucky the pitcher got out of the way so the fielders could catch it.
Is that one of those that will be a line drive in the box score, Keith? Because it's a hit for Conforto.
It is a hit for Conforto. You're living right.
Eric Campbell up for the first time, came in on a double switch in the last inning. He's only had 1 at bat so far this season. The sports writer Dick Young, decades ago, proposed the institution of a new rule called a team error that baseball considered but never adopted. And that's one of those circumstances that would certainly cry out for it. I'm sure the hitters would go on strike if that were to happen.
I don't think they would.
It's almost like the infield fly rule, right? It's a pop-up that you should be caught by someone.
Dustin McGowan is up in the Marlins bullpen. This is Narbison's 4th batter since coming on in the last inning. So Finnegan is now through 6 with a no-hitter against the Cubs. Remember, he was the kid who came up and pitched in the postseason for the Royals 2 years ago so effectively.
Yes, he did. I mean, straight out of college.
He's walked 4 in that game, which is why he has the high pitch count. Campbell loses the bat that goes flying into some unoccupied seats, fortunately.
Wow, that went over those guys' heads, plural. They had the duck here. Look at this.
Now the fans are booing because what always happens in these situations is the security guards will reclaim the bat for the player and then make an exchange or bring him another bat instead. So Campbell strikes out for the second out, and Travis d'Arnaud steps in with 2 out and a runner at first.
I know that it's different in every ballpark, but I know most of the ballparks are trying to add more netting to protect the fans who are so close to the action in today's game. And that's a good thing. I applaud that.
Well, some of the ballparks have extended the netting to the ends of dugouts now. Real Muto able to grab it in the webbing, and that retires the side. On to the 7th we go with Miami up 10-3. Horizon trivia question. Keith Hernandez and Don Mattingly won the most Gold Gloves at first base. Who won the 3rd most?
Boy, that's a
Do
good
you know
one.
this, Keith?
I have a guess.
Wes Parker?
Yeah, that was my guess.
Well, Wes Parker was the guy they named the all-time Gold Glover over you, which was just shocking. Vic Power was a great defensive first baseman, but
Bill White.
Yeah. Gordon rolls one out to Walker, 1 pitch and 1 out. And unlike Keith, Donnie is still plying his trade in batting practice. He was out there today with his glove, and I think we should get the 2 of you out there together tomorrow. Wouldn't that be fun?
And Don's got you know, the back problems shortened his career, so he must be feeling his oats.
Well, he's not wearing a first baseman's glove, is he?
No, regular, like an outfielder's glove. Don, who played 3rd base too for a few innings.
Didn't he play 2nd in the Pine Tar game?
I think so.
Yep. Here's Marcelo Zuna, and he takes a strike.
Donnie won 9, if I'm correct.
Yeah, and you won 11. Okay, so Vic Power won 7, Bill White won 7, Wes Parker won 7, but somebody won 8.
Wow.
Oh, I know.
American League.
Was it Boomer?
George Scott? Ah, the boomer, of course. Yes.
Let's see. It
Yes.
was
George Scott. Big guy. The boomer.
Boston. You must have grown up watching
Grew
George
up
Scott.
watching him. He was famous for the splits he would do to get the runner at first.
Strike 3 called. Ozuna out on strike. So Reed's faced 4 batters, retired them all, and struck out 3. I mean, and George Scott was a big man.
Yes, he was. With a big swing. Well, that plate is opening up a little bit here later.
That's right. George wore the helmet in the field.
Yes, he did.
Like John Olerud.
Number
Yes.
5, I think his number was, Boomer.
Like John Olerud.
I think he was a single-digit number. You're right, Ronnie.
I thought Cecil Cooper was 15 and that George Scott was 5, but could be wrong.
Of course, Cooper had his best years with the Brewers after the Red Sox traded him. Who they trade?
It was a one-sided trade.
Yeah.
What trade?
Cecil Cooper to the Brewers.
Didn't Ben Ogilvy go in that trade too?
Was he with the Red Sox?
I think so.
0-2 to Yelich. That was like a Danny Cater for Sparky Lyle trade. How did the Red Sox ever do that? And Yelich is down on strikes, so a good outing for Addison Reed. 5 up and 5 down with 4 strikeouts. That gets us to the 7th inning stretch. Mets down 10-3. As the Rangers and Islanders gear up for the playoffs on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. 34-year-old Dustin McGowan will take over the pitching for Miami as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
Well, he was a big up-and-coming pitcher with the Toronto Blue Jays. Won 12 games early in his career, but then had tons of injuries and has been trying to come back since then. Pitched in Philadelphia last year in relief for the most part for the Phillies, and then signed as a free agent with the Marlins this winter.
Early in his career, he was a hard thrower. Still can get it up there, 93, 94. Well, Jerry's family must be feeling better because he is going to get himself ready in the bullpen. Wilmer Flores up for the 2nd time after coming in a double switch. And he hits the first pitch on the ground to Prado at 3rd. 1 pitch and 1 out for McGowan. Now Curtis Granderson. Granderson now 0 for his last 19. Had a base hit on opening night, hasn't had one since.
You know, we were passing some numbers that Granderson got off to a slow start last year.
Yes,
also,
he did.
but the difference is he walked a lot. 9 walks in the first 7 games, only 3 so far in the first 6. So at least he was able to, as a leadoff hitter, get on base and keep his on-base percentage up.
David Wright waiting on deck.
'96, still throwing hard, Gary.
Final in D.C. The Nats beat the Braves 6-4. Atlanta now 0-6 to start the year.
You don't want to pull an Orioles. What was the Orioles? They started what?
0-21.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
I can't imagine.
That's over a month.
I don't know if you remember this, but I think it was your old buddy Mel Proctor
Yes, it was.
and John Lowenstein, who were the TV announcers for the Orioles, who at one point during the losing streak started the broadcast with paper bags over their heads.
Oh, that endeared them with the
With management.
the clubhouse.
And that's inside ball 4, so Granderson's on with the walk.
That's when the paper bag over the fan head was in.
That started, I think, with the New Orleans Saints,
the
didn't it?
Aints.
Yeah, the Yanks. And then it was the Gong Show. Was it the Unknown Comic?
That's right.
Now, the year that the Orioles lost the 21 in a row, I think it was, what, 88? Cal Ripken Sr., I think, started out the year as manager and was fired during the losing streak, and Frank Robinson replaced him.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that, but I know that Cal Sr. was fired after a few games. It wasn't many.
David Wright's been on base 5 times in a row now, dating back to yesterday. Had base hits his last 2 at bats yesterday, a single, a double, and a walk today. By the way, in that Washington win today, Wilson Ramos went 4 for 4 with a couple of RBIs, hoping he can hit against some other team other than the Mets. 0-2 to Wright with Cespedes on deck. Well, the Mets have been held to 5 hits tonight. 4 hits yesterday, 3 hits the day before. I guess that's small progress. Might not have mattered today the way Steven Matz's first start went. And Wright strikes out for the second out of the inning.
No one hits that pitch.
The pitch before was the one to hit. This is pretty wicked.
So Cal Ripken Sr. was fired after 6 losses.
Yeah.
0-6. How do you fire the manager at 0-6?
Here, it's a very tough business.
That's worse than Yogi Berra, right?
That's right.
Yogi got fired by the Yankees, what, 15 games into the year, something like that? So Cal Sr. lost the first 6, and then Frank Robinson lost the next 15 before they got a win.
He kept the job.
Yeah, for a while. Here's Cespedes, who's hit 3 balls hard tonight. 2 line drive outs and a run scoring single in the 4th. So going back to the home run yesterday in the 6th inning, all of a sudden Cespedes has been making much better contact.
Yes.
Taking all the way, 1-1.
Doing that a lot.
Looks like Familia is going to pitch the top of the 8th. Who does that leave for the 9th?
Maybe your position player.
Ooh, could be. That's hit hard, a base hit. So Cespedes has hit it hard 4 times in a row, and he has his 2nd hit of the night.
Keith, he is covering everything down in the strike zone.
Yes. Low ball hitter. There you go, middle in. Still a little out in front. Watch the contact here. Good balance, but he has to go out and. That's better than I thought. It's just the way he swings. Nothing wrong with that.
Now Alejandro De Aza will pinch hit. He was in the on-deck circle very early in this game, but never came to bat, and so he'll get a turn at bat on his 32nd birthday. Looking for his first hit as a Met.
Had a really good spring, got a lot of playing time.
Managers getting fired early. Yogi Berra got 16 games in 1985, and that led to his longtime feud with George Steinbrenner.
Right, said he would never come back to the stadium.
Because he said George had promised him the year, and he let him go 2.5 weeks into the season. Tight to De Aza, 1-1. I don't think Cal Sr. had the same kind of a boycott. He even let his kid play for the team.
That's right. His 2 kids play for the team.
Well, Yogi had his kid play for the Yankees, didn't he, for a while?
That's right. Dale Berra
was with the Yankees.
Dale was with the Pirates when I first came up.
Right.
Wasn't Dale involved in that play at the plate where the 2 runners got tagged out on the same play?
Yes. Carlton Fisk made the tag for the White Sox.
Bobby Meacham was the other guy?
Yes, a good call. #1 draft pick of the San Diego Padres in the day.
De Aza yanks one foul, 2-2. Of course, Mets pulled off a play like that in the '06 postseason against the Dodgers.
LaDuca, the catcher, right?
Got Jeff Kent and J.D. Drew on the same play. In fact, Dale was a Yankee in '85 when his dad got fired. Much as Cal Jr. was an Oriole in '88 when his dad got fired. And De Aza fooled badly for strike 3. And that ends the inning. So a couple of strikeouts from McGowan. Around a walk and a hit. And that sends us to the 8th. Looks like Familia's coming in. 10-3 Miami. Farewell tour. I mean, how many backup catchers get a farewell tour? Get a recap of tonight's Mets-Marlins opener with play-by-play breakdowns and all the post-game reactions on Mets blog presented by Citi, featuring on SNY.TV. Well, Jerry's Familia in a lopsided game will pitch the 8th inning.
Well, we were talking about it before that he's caught in a little flu bug and wasn't sure if he was going to be able to pitch yesterday, but said he was all right to go today and is going to pitch this 8th. And it might open up to what you were talking about before. Maybe a position player might come in and pitch for the Mets in the 9th. Well,
the Mets still have Jerry Blevins and Jim Henderson. Now, remember, Blevins the other day got up and then sat down without facing Ryan Howard. Here's Giancarlo Stanton leading off the 8th. So I don't know if there's anything bugging Blevins right now. And Henderson has become a guy you might not want to waste.
You save him for a game that means something.
9 up and 9 down with 7 strikeouts will do that. Stanton homered back in the 2nd inning, putting a cap on a 7-run 2nd inning that chased Steven Matz. His 2nd home run of the season. He's also struck out twice and walked today. Greg Breslow is up in the Miami bullpen. Is there going to be a quiz? Into the shift. And Flores is there to play and throws out Stanton all the way.
Good sinker there from Familia. Well, this was a game where the starting pitcher, Cosart, had an 8-run spot lead for him by his offense and forgot all about his fastball and wound up 1 out away from getting a decision and was yanked.
So it looks like Chris Narveson would probably get the win for Miami, ending in the 3rd behind Cosart in relief. Martin Prado's been on base 3 times with a walk and 2 singles today. Five different Marlins have at least 2 hits in this game. 14 in all. Misses and falls behind Prado 3-0. There's a strike. Wide ball 4 and Prado's on base for the 4th time tonight. That's 5 walks by Met pitchers. 1 out and 1 on. Now Chris Johnson has been on base 4 times in a row with 2 walks, a double and a single.
You know, Gary, the way the team is configured with 5 outfielders, not an extra infielder, can't get David Wright off the field in a situation like this. You could, but you'd have to have someone play the infield that's not used to it.
Well, you could move Plawecki to first, where he's had a little bit of spring training experience. Move Campbell to third. But I wonder whether they're considering using one of those guys to pitch the 9th inning.
Maybe. And your pick is Soup, right?
I would think so. But we'll see what Terry has in mind. He might throw Blevins or Henderson out there for the 9th. I would certainly doubt he'd give Familia a 2nd inning. Right now, he just let Familia through 1 inning without having to throw too many pitches.
There's no way that Familia is going to throw more than 1.
Well, it's been a tough game to cover all the pitching necessary, because that's the 185th pitch that Ahmed has thrown in this game. 185 with 1 out in the 8th. So they're going to easily get to 200. One-on-one to Chris Johnson. And there's a good sinker from Familia. 1-2. Going into yesterday, the Met pitching staff had walked 3 batters total in the first 4 games. Now they've walked 8 in the last 2 games. Along the right field line, Granderson over. And he dropped the ball. It's a fair ball. And they're going to force it second base. Prado was going back to first, just assuming Granderson was going to catch it. And it turns into a force out. It goes 9-4-6.
He used 2 hands. He just dropped it. And, you know, Prado just can't. He's a veteran. You go halfway, you can't get forced out. He's assuming.
I don't think Prado realized it was a fair ball.
Oh, but there's nothing he can do. I mean, that ball's caught, what, 999 times out of 1,000 or whatever.
Been a lot of sloppy play tonight.
It's been like the Bermuda Triangle out there tonight.
Jeez.
2 out, Johnson at first, and now Real Muto, who has a 3-hit game going. 3 singles, an RBI, a run scored. And a slow ground ball, and Flores will take it to the bag, and that retires the side. So Familia works the 8th. We head to the bottom of the 8th with the Mets down 10-3. This year, we've gotten uniforms for the cameras.
Very nice. Need a little larger uniform, but okay.
Ichiro Suzuki's going to come in to play right field as we go to the 8th inning. Stanton will get the rest of the night off. And the left-hander from Yale, Craig Breslow, comes in to pitch.
Well, Breslow has had a pretty amazing career for a guy that no one ever thought would pitch in the big leagues. Over 500 games as a reliever, a mainstay in that Boston bullpen the last few years, but now here with the Marlins. His owner went to Yale, so that doesn't hurt.
There you go. Neil Walker leads off for the Mets. Juan Lagares out on deck to bat for Michael Conforto with a lefty in the game. So I did a little research, and it didn't surprise me to find out that Craig Breslow, who tonight is pitching in his 527th career game, has pitched in more games than any Yale product.
That's right.
I assumed that you had more victories than any pitcher from Yale. But you're second.
Wow.
You won 136. A guy named Bill Hutchinson, who pitched from 1884 to 1897, won 182. So you're number 2.
Oh, Hutch. Yeah, that's right.
And here comes Ichiro trying to make a diving catch and coming up empty. And the Bermuda Triangle strikes again. Walker's aboard.
Well, if any high school coaches were DVRing this game to teach their kids how to play, they're just erasing it right now.
There's just not enough fabric to make a tent to put over this circus.
You got a 26-year-old second baseman, 25-year-old center fielder, and let's let the guy who's almost 50 years old come and make the play. I mean, come on.
And he just came in the game, Cole. So Walker gets credit for a base hit, much as Conforto got one on an infield pop-up that fell in the 6th inning, and now Lagares will bat for Conforto. So the Mets have 7 hits, and a couple of them have been of the gift variety. So do you know who's 3rd on the list?
3rd on the list.
If Bill Hutchinson is number 1 and Ron Darling is number 2.
He was the only winning pitcher on the Mets in 1962. No?
No.
Okay.
Ken McKenzie only had 8 major league wins. But a pitcher who worked in the 1930s won 44 games in the major leagues. His name was Johnny Broca.
Oh yeah, he was. He has a lot of the collegiate records at Yale. Well, that I don't have. No, you know it's so rare though from someone from Yale to make the major leagues. Craig was the first Yalie to make it to the major leagues since my debut in '83. So it just doesn't happen.
And how about this? Do you know this one? Most home runs in the big leagues by a Yalie. And I only know him as a major league manager, not as a player.
Huh.
He managed the Minnesota Twins to their pennant-winning season in 1965. Sam Miller.
Yeah, geez.
He had 80 home runs, which is the most of any Yalie in the big leagues.
Let's just say we're not setting the world on fire with any records. So
we have a guy at Columbia who had more.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, he was pretty good.
Lagares strikes out for the first out. Then McGarrick. Now Eric Campbell bats for the 2nd time. Struck out in the 6th inning. So who's up in the bullpen? Looks like Blevins. So it looks like the Mets will avoid having a position player take the mound. So Jerry must be good to go.
Well, you see some managers around baseball. They try to make light of a game when you're getting blown out by pitching a position player, but Terry's not one of those kind of managers.
A lot of managers feel it's a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
However, remember that Terry, when he was in the minor leagues and he was a middle infielder, he pitched on more than one occasion. I think he had a lot of success as a position player taking the mound.
Doesn't surprise me.
You know, when you're in AAA, a lot of times if the big club raids your team, you end up with a short roster. Ichiro manages to catch this one, and that's the 2nd inning.
Well, I was watching a special on Terry Collins this winter, and it was very well done. Being interviewed by Tom Verducci, and Tom had done some research, and Terry, when he was in the minor leagues, he sat the pine, Keith, for like 64 games in a row.
Really?
Never appeared in a game.
It's rotting.
I mean, wow.
Darno is 0 for 2 and a walk today. Walker at first and 2 down. And Darno slugs one out to right, and another chance for Ichiro. And he puts it away to end the inning. On to the ninth we go at Citi Field. That's down 10-3. All right, guys. Juan Lagares stays in the game and plays left field. And Jerry Blevins will pitch the top of the ninth.
Well, it's good to see that Jerry's out there. He didn't pitch, like we said, against Ryan Howard that one game, but that's probably the manager's decision. But going to pick up an inning here.
He got 2 outs on Friday, helped out by the infield fly rule flub by the Phillies. And Danny Echeverria leads off in the top of the ninth from Miami. So we ran the numbers on Terry Collins, the relief pitcher.
Yes.
6 games in his career in the minor leagues he pitched. A 2.25 ERA and 3 saves. He has 3 saves.
So it must have been like an extra inning affair where you run out of pitchers, right? 3 saves. That's great.
That's pretty good. How many position players get saves in half of their outing?
We got to give him those numbers tomorrow. I mean, maybe he already knows.
Do you think he doesn't know? I guarantee you he knows.
He might not know his ERA.
Maybe not. He might tell you it was 0. And Echeverria went around 1 and 2. Brian Morris up in the bullpen. Well, it turns out that Terry's numbers were even better because, believe it or not, Dave Freed made a mistake.
Oh, shocking. Hard to believe.
Strike 3 call. Echeverria caught looking. That's 11 strikeouts for Met pitchers tonight. There's your saving grace.
That's pretty good, though. Dave made it like, what, 3 or 4 games?
He did pitch in 6 games, but his overall earned run average in his career was 1.00.
Wow.
Not 2.25. So 1 ERA, 3 saves in 6 outings. Surprised he didn't make a career of it. Well, here's Ichiro Suzuki, 65 hits shy of 3,000 for his major league career, well over 4,000 for his career, including his years in Japan. He's had some amazing career, has he not?
Yes, he has. Hall of Famer.
Now 42 years old. Last year played a whole lot more than anybody would have thought because of the injury to Stanton. He had almost 400 at bats. Lifetime .314 hitter in the major leagues, and there you see the hit total. Second among active players. Adrian Beltre is going to get to 3,000.
Yes, he is.
Still going strong. Pujols probably as well.
Beltre is they're thinking of signing an extension to his contract. Not quite settled on the numbers yet, but
did you see his dance steps yesterday?
He's one of those guys that looks like he's having a blast and playing at a high level. It's hard to do that, both of them.
I mean, he's a tremendous hitter, home run hitter, great fielder. Little tapper to short. Flores has to charge. Ichiro can still run. Flores throws him out. You know, Ichiro got a lot of hits that way in his years in Seattle.
I was just thinking that that would have been a hit in his heyday.
Now D. Gordon is 1 for 5 on the night. An infield hit, stole a base, scored a run, and drove in a run in the second. Well, Steven Matz back in the dugout. It was an ill-fated first start of the year for Steven. Lasted just an inning and 2/3, allowed 7 runs and 6 hits, and this game was in the freezer from the early stages. And so the Mets have had to follow him with lots of bullpen. Robles, Bastardo, Reed, Familia, and now Blevins. 189 pitches thrown in the first 8 innings. We're now at 197. 198.
2 more. Need 2 more.
Who's counting?
Nope, actually we miscounted. It's 199.
Okay.
Sorry. Here Adrian Beltre's career numbers. We showed you the 27-75 hits, 414 homers, 1,470 RBIs, and a Gold Glove at third base. He's got to be a Hall of Famer, right? 1 and 2 to D. Gordon.
Only 1 Gold Glove at third?
Should have more than 1.
Yeah, I would think so. He can pick it.
One, 2 for Blevins to Gordon. And he just got a piece of the curveball. Four Gold Gloves for Beltre.
Yeah, I thought it was more than 1.
Dave Fried's eyesight is going the way of all of us. It takes him a little longer to come up with that.
It's okay, Dave. I'm behind you.
It's a long night for all of us.
Yes, I think you're terrific.
Wow.
Talk about disingenuous. That was beautiful.
By the way, Bill Webb picked a special
didn't he?
Turn, didn't he?
A real barn burner.
Pushing toward 300.
Seven-run rally, you can get there.
One, 2 to Gordon. Off Blevins, caroming to Flores, safe at first. And Gordon has his second infield hit of the night.
Yeah, you can book him for 2 hits every night, at least.
Well, with that speed, the infield hits just pile up for him. He never had a glove on it, did he? Went off his leg.
You're always a little worried when the comebacker comes to Jerry.
Was it Gordon who hit the ball? Who was it?
It might have been.
I think it was Gordon.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That one snagged by Blevins off the bat of Ozuna. Just have to hit a little harder. And that retires the side. To the bottom of the ninth. 10-3 Miami. Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Coming up tonight after the post-game show, it's Geico Sports Night with Doug Williams, and he'll get you ready for all the hockey playoffs. And LeBron has an opinion.
Must be the guy they fired in Cleveland, right?
Brian Morris will pitch the bottom of the ninth for Miami.
He had a good year for them last year. See, a couple of games got off to a slow start, but appeared in 67 games for the Fish last year. 5 ball games won. ERA low 3s.
Wilmer Flores up for the 3rd time after coming in the game in the 5th inning. Reached on an error and grounded out, so looking for his first hit of the year. And takes low and away for ball 1. Wilmer figures to get a start on Wednesday, where the Mets face a left-handed starter for the first time. It'll be Adam Conley pitching the final game of the series on Wednesday afternoon for Miami. It was supposed to be Wei-Yin Chen on Wednesday. This is hit to center field, and Ozuna's right there waiting for it. Chen got hit in the elbow in his first start, and so they pushed him back a couple of days. Marlins with 2 lefties in their rotation. There are not a lot of lefties in this division.
Well, the Phillies have all right-handed starters, right? Same with Atlanta.
Nationals have Gio.
That's right.
And that's it. I mean, that's up Mats. But it is a very right-handed division, so if you're a platoon player in the National League East and you're a right-hand batter, it's hard to get a lot of playing time. Here's Granderson, who's 0 for 3. The question is where Wilmer's going to play on Wednesday. Does Duda get a day off? Does Walker get a day off? Does David Wright get a day off? Any one of those is a possibility.
Well, if the Mets don't hit a little better tomorrow night, you might see Grandy get a day off and Lagares in the lineup.
Well, he'll definitely be in the lineup. The question is whether it's Conforto or Granderson who sits. And then the Mets go to Cleveland for the weekend, so they get to use the DH, and that'll get Lagares or Deazo or somebody an opportunity to play. Hard to have 2 DH series in the first 2 weeks of the season. Well, such is the nature now of the 15-team leagues and the everyday interleague play that we've had the last couple of years. You think when they went to 15-team leagues they realized they were going to have interleague games every day? Or do you think that was one of those unintended consequences?
I think unintended consequence.
Because remember when interleague play used to be bunched in the warm weather months, and Major League Baseball used to put out press releases about how much higher the attendance was for interleague games?
Yeah,
they don't do that anymore. You know why? Because they're all spread out now. You've got April interleague games, and the fact of the matter is that most fans don't give a hoot about interleague games. Popped up by Granderson into shallow left, and Yelich is there to grab it. But now they've legislated it into the game. With 15-team leagues, you have no choice.
So Baltimore is still undefeated with a Chris Davis home run off Kimbrel tonight, and Minnesota still hasn't won a game.
Twins got beat by the White Sox and Jose Quintana this afternoon.
He's an underrated pitcher. He's had some good years.
Minnesota's 0-7. It's the worst start they've ever had since they moved to Minnesota. The original Washington Senators moved to Minnesota in 1961. And then they made a new Washington Senators franchise, an expansion team. And then they moved to Texas 11 years later. And then Washington was without baseball until the Nats arrived from Montreal in 2005.
Looks like the Nats will be here for a while.
Yes. I think they're doing okay. By the way, you know they have a new racing president. Herbert Hoover has joined the crew, and he's won 2 in a row.
Well, if you know his presidency, he didn't win too much when he was in office, so
he's probably owed a few. Mets are down to their final out of the night, trailing 10-3, on the verge of their 3rd consecutive loss. And David hit the bullet, and Echeverria snags it, and that's how this game ends. It was a rough one for Steven Matz tonight, as he got tattooed in his first start of the year, got knocked out in the 2nd inning. Mets had to use a lot of bullpen to get to the end as the Marlins take the opener of this series 10-3.
Keith, I'm going to be very brief. The Mets pitching needed over 200 of those pitches to retire and get 27 outs of the fish tonight, give up 10 runs.
And I'll be briefer. Good positive here was Cespedes had a very good night with the bat, and David Wright hit the ball hard more than a few times.
It was very concise, Keith. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by T-Mobile. Get Major League coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. By People's United Bank NA, see what know-how can do for you. By Toyota, visit your local Toyota dealer and test drive the all-new RAV4 Hybrid today. Toyota, let's go places. By StubHub, looking for great seats? Head to StubHub, the official ticket marketplace of the New York Mets. And by Geico, over 75 years of savings and service. Final score tonight, the Marlins 10 and the Mets 3. Mets' 3rd straight loss. Noah Syndergaard will try and get it turned around tomorrow night against one of the best pitchers in baseball, Jose Fernandez. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6 o'clock right here on SNY. Now for Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling, Steve Gelbs, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen at Citi Field. Time for WB Mason post-game live. Let's join Gary Apple and Nelson Figueroa.